if you're talking about election rallies, I went to a lot. Which one, Barry? Hi, guys. Tap the screen, share the live. Welcome to the People's Receipts. I'm so excited. We're going to have a big laugh today. We're going to laugh a lot today. It's going to be amazing. Tap the screen. My goal is to get to 400K today. It's super. I appreciate your engagement. Tapping is clapping. I just got a new, maybe actually, and also maybe I got a new laptop and a new camera. So that could also, maybe it could be that. Maybe the resolution is better. So that it also, maybe it's not me at all. It's always possible. You had a terrible appointment today. I know we could all use a laugh. Don't worry. We're going to do a lot of laughing today. Yeah, my goal is to get to 500 subscriptions today again. You know how it goes. Sometimes they phase out. Thank you so much for the hat. I love presents. And let's see here. So please subscribe if you would like to support me. Yeah, today's going to be the biggest laugh because we're going to talk about. I mean, I have literally been sitting on X dying laughing. I don't think I've ever had a better time on X in my life than whatever. Was it Thursday, Friday, Saturday? I think so. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, probably. Just the 26th, 27th, and 28th probably have to be my new 3 favorite days on X. I have never read, I don't think I've ever read so many comments in my, I don't usually hang out in comment sections, just dying laughing, but man. So yeah, I decided I'm going to try to tell the best story through screenshots of X of, the MAGA meltdown, the fight.
You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Do you hear that sound? I made that my subscription sound.
You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. I just I love Fleece, just her, not her opinions. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. That's so nice. I finally figured out how to make sounds, and I found that clip of Trump saying paper is more sophisticated than computers. Thank you so much for the subs. I appreciate it so much. Sorry, I'm a little dehydrated. So anyways, we are going to go through, received a support. I'm trying to let me look. Who actually sent the subs? Sorry, I'm looking. Sometimes it's hard to figure out. Queen Auntie, was it you that did the sub? Thank you so much. It's hard to tell, or maybe you received them. It's hard to tell. Sorry, if I'm getting it wrong and I don't know who actually subscribed and bought the subs, I appreciate it. Is it Courtney? I'm not sure. I sent the subs. Courtney, thank you so much for the subs. Sorry, if you could see what it looks like in TikTok Studio, it just starts scrolling so fast. I appreciate it so much. I am live on YouTube, on Twitch, on X as well. If you ever want to watch the replays of the People's Receipts, you can just find them as soon as they load. They are on YouTube after the fact. We're just starting. I've kind of just been chatting, so we have not started yet. You're not that late to class. But yeah, so today I just want to show you guys what happened on X the best I can during those 3 days of the MAGA Civil War, because it is absolutely hilarious. And I think the best way to do that, I talk about Ron Filipkowski all the time. Thank you so much. He's probably one of my favorite creators. He was a federal prosecutor. Then he worked for the Republican Party. Then he was a never Trumper. Now he is the editor-in-chief for Midas Touch. And I think what I was trying to figure out, how am I going to tell this story of the mess that happened on Twitter? I think the best way is with his posts, because they are so funny. If you don't follow him, I'm sure you will after this, because the sarcastic posts are just gold. I enjoyed it so much. So you've probably heard of Vivek's disaster post. So I'll just give you a little bit of a background. If you don't know what an H-1B visa is, I've talked about this several times in my lives. I've said that Elon Musk is known for these in the tech industry. They are skilled worker visas. They're what they do in the tech industry is they use them to bring engineers from places like India, right? And essentially you are the company that brings you there. They don't have to pay. You're not a citizen, right? So they don't have to pay Social Security and Medicare tax on you. They're essentially indentured servants just for that company. If they work as hard as you say, or they revoke the visa and you're gone. So, I mean, this is a common thing in the tech industry, specifically with Elon Musk. I mean, when I worked in the tech industry a while ago, he was doing it then. He's sort of known for it. And imagine MAGA having to find out so soon, Trump's not even in office, that Trump sold out to globalists who are not very America first, right? Not, it was one thing when he thought that it was black jobs that were being taken, but not the highly skilled engineering jobs that that was more that they could actually bear. So I mean, this post was crazy. I'm not even going to read. Well, maybe I will. The reason this is basically Vivek Ramaswamy posted this post just to basically insult MAGA's intelligence, sort of. He tried to start out by saying he wasn't insulting their intelligence, but it was essentially just a dragging, right? The reason that tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficiency, a lazy and wrong explanation, which he's insulting them right there. It's hilarious. A key part of it comes down to the C word, culture. So think about who MAGA is, right? These America first, they believe in American exceptionalism. They're the ones still living out like their high school football fantasies. And Vivek is basically saying, hey, this comes down to American culture. You're not breeding a culture of winners, essentially, And he starts talking about our American culture as venerated mediocrity. Which at this point, when I was reading this, I was like, oh, they don't know what these words mean. They're like, what? Our over excellence for way too long. Then he goes, at least since the 90s and likely younger. That doesn't start in college. It starts young. A culture, and this is where MAGA probably started realizing what he was saying. A culture that celebrates. Here, let me move this up a little, make it a little smaller so it's not in the chat so much. There we go. The culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ, or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. I can't. Oh, wait, sorry. I just want to make sure I'm not skipping. Yeah, sorry. This is a really long post of his. I had to do it in 2 posts. And this is where they started being like, wait a minute. And I even said, you don't speak ill of Corey from Boy Meets World. A culture that venerates Corey from Boy Meets World, or Zach and Slater over Screech in Saved by the Bell, or Stefan over Steve Urkel in Family Matters will not produce the best engineers. And that's pretty much, I like to think, when MAGA lost their minds, right? Like, you could say a lot of things. I don't, like I said, venerating mediocrity. They don't know what that means, but you're attacking Saved by the Bell and saying that the jocks are bad. Like the attack on American culture, they lost their minds on X. And when I say, like, it seems like Laura Loomer is getting blamed, or for some reason, when you read articles about this, she's like singled out like it was her. This was hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people screaming about this on the internet. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, and I don't know if you understand the East Asian culture of like tiger moms and the focus on math, but I'll say this, and this is my opinion as someone who works in the tech industry. There is talent, right? It's very competitive to get American-born engineers. I was saying this earlier on Facts in My Live. They call it 80-20 time, right? It is so competitive to get engineers to work for companies. They basically promise them, hey, if you'll just do what we need you to do 80% of the time, for 20% of the time, you can use our company resources and do whatever you want. Work on your own projects. We don't care. Just please, will you come work here? Like, that's in the tech industry, American engineers coming out of college have a lot of leverage. They're very valuable. And think about it. Would it be easier to get H-1B candidates who are essentially, they can't, if they don't like their work hours, they can't leave and go to another tech company like other American engineers can. They just leave and say, "Oh, you're trying to make me work too much?" There's 800 million other tech companies that want me. They can't leave. They are stuck with the company that got the visa to bring them here. And if they don't do what is asked of them, they are shipped out. So that was.
You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it so, so much. So again, he called this our Sputnik moment, which is ridiculous. But basically, Vivek wrote a 3-page long message to MAGA, basically shitting on them and saying, hey, it's American culture. You guys don't work hard enough. That's why we have to get people from Asia to do these jobs. You don't have the work ethic. Yeah, which was a mistake. So I just want to, again, I'm going to try to show you this from Rod Filipkowski's perspective because I think it's the funniest. And he said, we also have a huge national shortage of construction workers, agricultural workers, food processors, landscapers, and hospitality workers. But he wants all of them all deported as not useful while justifying migrants in his industries, which is so true. This is what we're going to see from billionaires. Them be like, oh, not my visa, not my workers. I need to keep my workers. As a matter of fact, they're not asking to just keep H-1B workers, right? They're asking to vastly raise the cap of H-1B visas that are allowed. Visa jobs that don't pay into federal taxes. Exactly. They don't have to pay Medicare. They're not citizens. So the companies don't have to pay Medicare or Social Security tax. That's exactly right. There are a lot of benefits. And this is Elon Musk, which again, it's like, what is that Macbeth quote? Methinks thou doth explain too much, like your understanding of the situation is upside down and backwards. It's like they just are, they keep insulting these people over and over. Of course, my companies and I would prefer to hire Americans, and we do, as that is much easier than going through the incredibly painful and slow work visa process. However, there's a dire shortage of extremely talented and motivated engineers in America. Another insult. And again, I would say maybe there's less than they probably want, but the real wages is the issue, right? They can pay H-1B visa workers significantly less. They can make them work significantly more. And like I said, any American-born engineer can just say, hey, I'm going to another company. There's headhunters calling them all the time.
Paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Oh my God. We might get sick of hearing that. And this is how you know the world is upside down. When we're agreeing with Ann Coulter, like Ann Coulter has been making some sense on X. She said American workers can leave a company. Imported H-1B workers can't. Tech wants indentured servants, not high-skilled workers. She hit the nail on the head. Truer words were never spoken. And believe me, it pains me to agree with Ann Coulter about anything. I've been agreeing with Ann Coulter, Steve Bannon, Laura Loomer. It's just, and again, so sometimes I'm just showing comments of people. So MAGA, except faux MAGA Musk. No more immigrants, hire American tech workers. Also MAGA, eliminate the Department of Education. Like, that is the point of this, right? If MAGA wants to talk about what America first means, right, then we need to talk about what it would take to to get people in America to the point where we can fill all these engineering positions. And cutting the Department of Education is not going to be one of the things. Like, make it make sense. I was talking about that House Bill 3278 out of Oklahoma, which people have a misunderstanding of, and I think people should read it. It's not making
more sophisticated now than computers.
It's not making people go into the military or a trade or for high school graduation requirements. What it's saying is, hey, if you know for a fact, let's say you're going to be a welder, then there will be different, say, math requirements for you. Like it literally says in that bill that 8th grade math is sufficient. Like, so yeah, I mean, it's what MAGA's doing and what they're doing in red states with education is very contrary to them saying, we can do these tech jobs. What do you mean? These are America First jobs. I agree. There are very talented engineers in America. But again, we need more. We need more people focused on STEM type careers. And that requires investing in education. Also, what? Subsidizing education. Think about how Republicans are constantly talking about personal responsibility and like that's socialism. We shouldn't pay for people's educations. I can tell you in India, they have a lot of programs that help people pay for college that subsidize it. So it's significantly below cost. People in India are going to school significantly cheaper than people are getting engineering degrees here. Oh, thanks. And again, I just love this. So Elon's position is to deport migrants who do the American who do the jobs Americans don't want to do, while dramatically increasing the number of migrants to take the jobs Americans really want. It's make it make sense. And imagine MAGA like knowing nothing about this and realizing in real time. And I'll give Steve Bannon credit. As someone who used to listen to his show because he's terrifying and I need to keep an eye on him, he has for a long time been saying this stuff about Elon Musk. It's not new. It didn't just start. He has been screaming to the hilltops that no one should trust Elon Musk. So it's Make America India now. And I just love this. Can we just look at this woman's name down here? This is the first call. I just think the names are so. That's a great. I'm not going to read it aloud, but that's a great name on X. This is the fun. So this is like MAGA is starting to get pissed, and they're like, "No more sleepovers, no more fun. Must work, must produce. Discarded if you can't keep up." Who the hell is advising Vivek, right? And Ron's like, nobody's advising Vivek. And that's very true. Advising Musk, Vivek, Sachs.
Is more sophisticated now than computers.
Thank you for the follow. This is who they are, who they've always been. And they think now that they let people post all the racist SHIT on X that they want and bought Trump the election, they have taken over MAGA because they think MAGA are Neanderthals. Yeah. I mean, this is true. It's like watching MAGA realize who these people are is probably one of the most priceless experiences of my life. Keep tapping the screen, guys. Let's get to 50. We can get to 100K. Tapping is clapping. I totally appreciate you tapping, sharing the live, gifting. Oh, this is my Cash App and Venmo. If you would like me to read a message, a comment, question, dad joke, whatever the case may be, just send that and I will periodically check. Oh, and this is one of my favorite posts of Ron Filipkowski that day. And this is the truest thing ever. And remember this every time.
More sophisticated now than computers.
Remember every time you read Elon Musk's posts about this. As I've said many times, all you have to do with these people is substitute me or I for America in their posts to find out what they are really saying. And so I read this post and then I was pretty much doing that all day with Elon Musk's post. And it's so true. Like what? It comes down to this. Do you want me to win or do you want me to lose? If you force the world's best talent to play for the other side, I will lose. That is exactly the point. Sorry, hold on. What? And it's so true. It's like in real time on X, we're all realizing that tech bros are globalists, or MAGA's realizing this, which imagine idolizing the irony of this, the richest people in America, while also confidently saying they're going to drain the swamp, right? We're watching an oligarchy form in real time. And it's like MAGA are the last people to notice everything. Hey, yeah, this would technically be the opposite of draining the swamp, right? And think about how MAGA is constantly saying Congress shouldn't be making stock trades. Do you understand Trump has appointed 13 billionaires, then like whatever you want to call Elon and Vivek makes 15. These are people with the wealth of 169 countries and who have stock positions. You know what you have a problem with stock trades? Meet these people. This is the biggest conflict of interest of all time, quite literally. Oopsies. Sorry. Oh no, I hate when that happens. Oh, and so Vivek, which is always a mistake. Vivek is again trying, right? Because he keeps trying. People are attacking him left to right. He's getting thousands of comments. And I will say, and I don't want to say it's because he's brown, but I'm saying it. Like Elon Musk was saying the exact same things that Vivek was saying, and they were like about to, get their pitchforks and go unalive Vivek. You ask yourself why that would be. But he's, basically goes on a rant. The reason this is Mark Cuban responding to that long rant. And he said, how do you feel about people who say college is overrated? In order to have more homegrown engineers, don't we need more kids going to college? Imagine this. These are the people. The Republicans are people saying, don't bother going to college. You don't need to go to college. Well, you do if you want to compete for someone who's about to be brought here on an H-1B visa. That's the point. You do. You do need to go to college. And I agree that I don't like to use the words America first. I think it's gross and it's wrong for several different reasons I think we all could get into. But there are many policies. It's not that's the joke. They think it's the left. It's conservative policies, right, that disenfranchise the middle and lower class from upward mobility. And that's the conversation MAGA really needs to have. Number one, if you want these jobs, then what policies need to change? How do we invest in education to put Americans in a position to compete for them? And right now, we know education rates, the worst states for education are red states. Well, then, okay, I thought this was good. So Mark Cuban said that he's trying to get Vivek to answer honestly, like, it sounds like people need to go to college then. So stop telling people not to go to college. And Ron Filikowski said, college is overrated. It's all just woke Marxist indoctrination. Don't go to college. Learn a trade. Get married young. Have lots of kids. Also MAGA. Musk and Vivek want Indians to take all our tech jobs. Like, do you see how it's ideologically opposed? You can't have it both ways. If you're mad about immigrants taking skilled jobs, then you have to place value on education and invest in it. Yeah, there's no way to win. Which actually, I would say, and maybe this is me just being a little over optimistic, but at least they're thinking about it. Right? They weren't thinking about it too much before. They just thought Trump was magically going to make everything better. And now they're realizing, oh, maybe that's not going to happen the way we thought it was. Tap the screen, guys. Keep tapping the screen. Share the live. I so appreciate it. Oh, Bethany says, I'm so over the rainbow. Thank you for the follow. Much love and harm reduction. Thank you so much, Bethany. I love you. Appreciate your support. And Jonathan says, is this a request?
Paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Open cash to approve or decline this request. Oh, I think these keep just coming up. I don't know. Johnny, I hope you're still not blocked. I think we went through this before and this might just keep coming back up. Oh, on 12/17. Okay, it is old. Never mind. It's just resending. I need to figure out. It says it expires on 12/31, so that will be soon. So let's bring Laura Loomer to the chat, right? This is what was happening. Laura Loomer was pointing out what Elon and Vivek were saying, right? They're going to take jobs from Americans. Remember also what was being argued about in the spending bill when they were going to shut the government down. There's two things, and that's what you're learning. Either Elon or tech billionaires are saying either
paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Either increase the number of visas, the H-1B visas, so we can bring workers here, or we're going to offshore jobs, right? In the spending bill to fund the government, Democrats and Republicans were trying to limit foreign investment in China. That's an America first idea, right? Don't invest in China, don't offshore jobs, invest in America. And Elon and Trump took it out.
Is more sophisticated now than
they
computers.
literally said no. And that's the point. Either Trump gives them more H-1B visas or they will send the jobs somewhere else. Like, capitalism is built on the cheapest labor. Ideally, it's slave labor, but at least in America, unless you're in prison, or a few other circumstances where slavery is still legal, right? What they want is the cheapest labor. They do not want to pay American wages. That's why manufacturing has been offshored. Thank you so much, Heather Cornuts. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the subscriptions. You always do this in so many lives I see. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. W. Heather. So Laura Loomer weighs in. Is Doge a way to cut spending or redirect the spending towards the pet projects of billionaires? I mean, God, is Laura Loomer starting to make sense? Are we going to have to start listening to her? Hey, Joanna.
Hey, it irks my soul so bad to have to agree with that cycle.
And see, Bannon, I've had a really, I'm in an existential crisis. People like MAGA the OG MAGA is starting to make sense to me. We've gone too far.
Literally, the abyss is upon us and we're in it. But
staring into it.
Welcome back, everybody. I hate it here. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to have y'all here. There are 530 people in here. Thank you so much for being here on this good old Monday. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy all the stuff, right? Thank you for tapping. We are at 54,000. Let's get up to 100 super quick so we can get this pushed out so other people can come in here with us and get this phenomenal information. Make sure that these yapping fingers are staying tapping fingers. Also, if you want a link to the Discord, you can send a message to Feliz Navidad Live. And make sure that you're sending a couple of coins over to our good girl at A Girl Has No Name at Venmo and Cash App. Love y'all for being here. Like I said, keep tapping, keep sharing, gift. We want to get this pushed out. We appreciate y'all being here. Love everything that's going on in the chat. Yes, Thomas is a dick, but we're going to let him stay for a little bit until he gets too out of hand. Thank y'all.
I've been reading the chat, Thomas. I don't even know who you are, but are you behaving? Thank you so much, Joanna. You're amazing. Yeah, so again, this is the day of agreeing with Laura. And wait till I show you a clip. I mean, this is from last week still. I saw a clip of Laura Loomer today on Steve Bannon's show, and I'm like, oh my God, she's making so much sense. Is Doge a way to cut spending or redirect the spending toward the pet projects of tech bro billionaires? 100%. Think about it. Think about all of these OG MAGA people. This is my comment to MAGA. They're incredibly loyal, right? Those are the people from way back when that have built the MAGA movement, right? It's not tech billionaires. They just came in with a bunch of money and basically Trump sold out all the old people. If he really wanted to cut government spending and real government waste, then he would have put someone, someone who really would do that, because the government waste is where it's in the military budget. But guess what? The tech bros have, they all have stock positions and government contracts, defense contracts. They're never going to go after the real waste. Is Elon Musk going to approve his own military contracts? It looks that way. It absolutely looks that way. She said, hey, let's convince the peasants that we are saving them money as we enrich ourselves. Then when they find out and speak out. Yeah. And then she says, is Doge real or is it a vanity project? Can we have this conversation without people crying? And then Elon Musk answers, and Elon Musk at this point is completely off his rocker. And he's like, Loomer trolling for attention, ignore. Yeah, that's free speech. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. This is just a person saying their opinion on your social media site, and he is losing his mind. And she's not wrong. Yeah, and this is a good one. And I have this clip. And again, this is like I said, Bannon has been trashing Elon Musk for a long time. And I don't know if you want to say trashing, just pointing out the truth, pointing out that when he has been cut off from government contracts, U.S. government contracts, he goes and panders to Xi Jinping. That's why he took the foreign Chinese investment clause out of the spending bill, because that's where his bread is buttered. Sorry.
Elon Musk. Up crony capitalism and Elon Musk. And by the way, when we cut him off, he went begging the CCP, and that's why they have the joint venture in Shanghai, the Tesla, which is 100% of his value, right? This guy lives on government contracts and taxpayer subsidies, okay? It's all, we're going to get Joe Allen in here for a second to transform it. Elon Musk, once again, brother, I'm smart enough to tell you no to your face, and I'm evil enough to be able to expose you as a running dog for the greatest enemy this nation's ever had. You're a war profiteer. You're sleeping with the enemy, brother, and you've been doing it because you're not an American nationalist. You're not even an American. All you are is a globalist, okay? A globalist. And you will go where anybody writes you a check, and you would take it from Adolf Hitler himself, because you're taking it from people that are as bad as Adolf Hitler. The murderous regime of the Chinese Communist Party, which you praised on their 100th anniversary.
I mean, some of it is like Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon is funded by a Chinese dissident. Well, Miles Guo is now in federal prison. We don't know where he is, actually. He disappeared, maybe in a CIA black site. We don't know. But you remember when Steve Bannon, I'm just telling you why Steve Bannon is always going after the CCP so much. Do you remember when Steve Bannon was arrested on a yacht? That was a Chinese dissident's yacht, and who was basically, is like seeking refuge from China. But then it turned out he defrauded Chinese dissidents to the tune of like billions with a scam called Himalaya Coin, a crypto scam. So, but anyways, he's not wrong. Like everything Steve Bannon is saying is correct, and that's sad that we're there. We now have to agree with Steve Bannon. And Steve Bannon, when this started happening, Steve Bannon for 3 days, like his show is long. It's like 5 or 6 hours a day. And he held like 6 hours, just guest after guest, trashing Elon Musk for days. I mean, if there was ever a reason to watch, it's actually kind of funny. The elephant, and then, so Laura Loomer is still posting, the elephant in the room is that Elon Musk, who is not MAGA and never has been, is a total effing drag on the Trump transition. He's a stage 5 clinger who overstayed his welcome at Mar-a-Lago in an effort to become Trump's side piece and be the point man for all of his accomplices in big tech to slither in to Mar-a-Lago. I mean, that is kind of that's what happened, right? Think about it. Trump is just tweeting or truthing that Bill Gates is coming to Mar-a-Lago. Like they all are. He doesn't even go here. Exactly. Except for the only hypocrisy of this statement would be like, Laura Loomer, didn't you try to do this like a year ago? Do you know what I'm saying? Laura, did you try to slither in to Mar-a-Lago? Like just a year ago, I think you did your own slithering, but at least she's consistent.
Paper is more sophisticated.
You know what I
now
mean?
than
Like at least she's
computers.
not slithering in with billions of dollars. So definitely, I know she is a pick me for sure, but at the same point, I do admire her honesty. You know, like let me just rephrase that. I think she believes what she is saying. Maybe that's the best way to say it, because I believe she believes what she says. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Before we play this, I just want to remind you of this. I just want to remind you, like, remember, like, MAGA has the memory of goldfish. Literal, we are dealing. That's if you ever just remember, like every 24 hours, their brains reset. They do a hard reset, and they've forgotten everything. This is during. Do you remember when Vivek was in the Republican primary in Iowa and was going around and was caught on like a cell phone whispering to some lady like, hey, Trump is going to be unalived if you don't vote for me, like, and Trump was pissed, and Trump was posting all these things saying like, oh, Vivek's a traitor, and now they're like, wait, Vivek's a traitor. It's like, yeah, remember you guys correctly identified him as one last January. Thank you. I love hats and lightning. So again, this is someone caught this during the Iowa primary, or caught this on their cell phone.
I need your support on Monday night. You do this, I'm going to do my part.
Okay, you're picking at my shell. You are.
Yeah.
But
You know that
I've got.
paper is more sophisticated. You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
You want to save Trump, you vote for me. I'm telling you that. You vote for Trump. You're sending
He's
him
a sledgehammer.
No, but you're sending him to his own demise. You're falling into the trap that not only a country's falling in, that he's falling. You want to save Trump, you vote for me. I need your support at the Iowa caucus.
That's a good argument. That's a good argument.
It's not an argument, it's the truth. Do the right thing for him and for this country. That's what I'm asking you for.
I will consider.
What? It's so weird. Why are you doing this? Like, yeah. Remember, and if you remember, you got to remember back to the primary. I know, like one day in the news media now, it's so hard to remember last week because so many crazy things happened. But he was going around publicly. That's why he's whispering. He was the only reason he was in the primary is because he was like a stalking horse for Trump. You know what I mean? He was literally propping up Trump. And then, but then he was whispering to people in back quarters in Iowa to vote for him. And Trump was pissed about this. But it just goes to show you, right? It doesn't matter if someone has money. Vivek better. Oh, I love this. Because is this not the truth? This is what Ron Filipkowski's saying. Because like Vivek is going down in flames literally on Thursday. And he's like, Vivek better start tweeting some shit about Hunter Biden pretty soon to get the heat off of him from MAGA. Isn't that always true, though? It's like, the other one, and I think I put it in here, but I think it's in here, but it's like, at another point, Rob Filipkowski's like, oh, they better just start attacking a random trans person. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, just remind them of their conspiracies and culture wars, and maybe they'll forget you're robbing them. That's what Rod Filipkowski is correctly identifying. Anytime MAGA starts being like, wait a minute, am I being robbed? Then they're like, hey, who's in the bathroom? Did you guys forget about the bathrooms? Remember the bathrooms, right? Remember Nancy Mace in the bathrooms? Like, that's exactly how it's like the best distraction. They're like, oh yeah, we're angry about the bathroom.
Paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Literally deflect. The distraction is the point, and the culture wars are a distraction. Oh, don't you guys remember? Don't you guys remember? Gay people are icky. They're like, oh yeah, I guess it doesn't matter that you guys are robbing us because gay people are icky. That's literally, they literally have no attention span. Oh man, this is great. At the risk, God, and talk about no self-awareness. Elon Musk has no self-awareness. At the risk of starting, I think he means stating the obvious, there are many attention-seeking trolls on all social media platforms trying to yank your chain. He's talking about Laura Loomer. But this is Elon Musk. I know if you don't have to, don't go on X. It's not great, but he is the number one troll on X. That's what he does. This is a guy who's rumored to have like alternate egos. I'll get into that later. We'll talk about that later. And I'm sorry, I just thought this was funny. I'm thinking Crazy Luber is on to something. Says Doge will do cuts so tech bros could line their pockets / projects with the money, huh? The reaction by Elmo makes me curious. Do you guys know that they call Elon Elmo on X? It's funny. Yeah, so anytime you hear someone calling him Elmo, they're talking about Elon because I think he once typed his name and referred to himself as Elmo, and it just stuck. Elon, and this is so true. Elon is just saying what every other Republican employer is about to say in 2025. Deport everyone else's employees, but not mine because I really need them. And remember when I just want to give the example, Trump will make a deal. Trump's just going to make a deal. He'll say, oh, I'm doing mass deportations, and then he's going to sell exceptions. That's what, remember when he went to the farmers and he's like, don't worry, farmers, I'm going to tell oil and gas to put ethanol in the gas. And that way you guys won't go bankrupt because we're going to sell your corn as ethanol to oil and gas. And then he went to the oil and gas executives and were like, oh, I'll sell you guys exemptions. Like, that's what he's going to do. As long as he can make, in my opinion, as long as he can make money, he doesn't care. Oh, this is it. I did put it in here. Elon that could always start picking on a random trans person. That distraction usually works like a pacifier on an infant. This is the truth. This is the literal truth. The sooner MAGA gets the point, hey, every time you worry about who's in what bathroom, think about it. Why would they spend $200 million convincing you that was a problem? Convincing you when, as a Division I athlete, right? There's 500,000, like I think 510,000 or something Division I athletes. There are 10 trans athletes. It's statistically completely insignificant. Right? Same thing with the bathroom issue. We already have laws, right? If 6 koalas stacked on top of each other in a trench coat go into a bathroom and start lurking on people, that's illegal. Surprise, you just report it. But MAGA thinks they are like the defenders of the bathroom as if it's already not a crime to harass someone in a bathroom. It's super weird. And the sooner MAGA learns that this is a distraction, this is how they pacify you, literally with a pacifier, is this stuff, the culture wars. You have to stop focusing on that and recognize you are being robbed. Yeah, this is again in response to his post at the risk of stating the obvious. And this is the truth. You messed up, dude. You lied. You told us you were based plus you were based. Plus, I think you're personally shorting me on the X revenue. So let's get an engineer on that. So this is what he actually started doing was changing the algorithm. We'll get into it, but Elon Musk started blocking accounts and changing the algorithm because he was getting what he called spam, but basically people subtweeting and who were angry at him and calling him out. And so he decided, instead of just accepting, like, I'm saying something that people are having a strong reaction to, he's like, I own this place. I'm going to do something about it. This is so funny. I love this one. They were fine with everything else, but Vivek criticized Saved by the Bell. That was the deal breaker. It really was, too. They did not know what venerated mediocrity meant, for sure. They're like, wait, what? What about Saved by the Bell? This is more MAGA. Vivek is tweeting about how we need Asian immigrants because Americans are bad parents who raise dumb kids. And I'm not sure this guy has a big future in Republican politics. Exactly. He's like, things are going well. It was a complete meltdown. I could have spent all day long showing you guys a lot of the things I can't show you because they're so. I will say there was a lot of horrible racism and bigotry because, I mean, let's take a walk down memory lane. Do you remember I said that Trump was talking S about Vivek? They already correctly identified him as a bad person. Wow, thank you so much. Vivek started his campaign as a great supporter, the best president in generations, etc. Unfortunately, now all he does is disguise his support in the form of deceitful campaign tricks. Very sly, but a vote for Vivek is a vote for the other side. Don't get duped by this. Vote for Trump. Don't waste your vote. Vivek is not MAGA. The Biden indictments against his political opponent will never be allowed in this country. They are already beginning to fall. MAGA. This was his response to that video of Vivek cornering that woman and implying, like, you need to vote for me because they're going to ruin Trump's life. Help me save him. This was his response. And now they're all like, wait a minute. I thought we don't like Vivek. It's like, yeah, you guys hated him just a few months ago. Does nobody remember but me? And this was the point I was making, which is great. Elon and Vivek basically said exactly the same thing, but it's interesting to see how many on the right went after Vivek hard, but didn't say a word about Elon. Wonder why? Can anyone think of why Vivek would get, I don't know, 100 times the hate that Elon got? I can't. Oh, I'm just showing you the first. This was just the first quote. This was the first comment underneath that post. I just screenshotted it. This was literally first underneath that last post I just showed you. This was I'm just reporting. These are just receipts, and I am just screenshotting them, and I am just showing them to you. And that's my job.
Now than computers.
It's my job to just show receipts. These are other comments, because some of these comments are so funny. Because remember, Ron Filipkowski's asking, like, hey, I wonder why Vivek is getting 100 times the hate than Elon Musk, even though they're saying the same exact thing. Look at these comments. I just can't quite put my finger on what they see is the difference between the two of them. Vivek is also non-white, so it makes it easier for MAGA to target him. I wonder why, too. Even as a U.S.-born American, a South African citizen has more privilege than Vivek. FAFO, MAGA is, make America, what again. And then this one, Rod, the question should be wonder white. It's hilarious. I literally, this is the most comments I've ever read. And this is absolutely true. Trump has been sitting back all day trying to figure out how much he can make off selling those tech visas. If he could get people to buy autographed Bibles made in China for $1,000, which, if you didn't know that, that's happening right now. He's, the Trump Bibles, some of them he's signing and selling for $1,000. That's a real thing. That's one of the grifts. That cost him $3. He should make a killing off the tech bros on these. Imagine he's going just like the pay for pardons. Need I remind? Yes, 1,000. You can look that up. Yeah, Trump's autographing some of his Trump Bibles and selling them for $1,000. That's what Jesus would want, right? I'm sure that's what Jesus wants. Jesus wants $3 Bibles to be sold for $60, and then if Donald Trump signs one, he wants it to be sold for $1,000. Yeah, I actually skipped it because I have a lot to go through. But yeah, someone just mentioned Melania. Melania is selling like $90 Christmas ornaments. I swear to God. Who puts a $90 Christmas ornament on their tree? Who? No one. $90. She's hawking Christmas ornaments. Remember when Melania was like, I'm the first lady, I don't want to decorate. And wasn't that her thing, that she actually hated Christmas and didn't want to, like, she hated that it was her job to decorate for Christmas? And now she's like, oh, $90 Christmas ornaments. Let's sell. I know, it is a deal. That's right, Raph. It's a total steal. And these are just comments that were underneath this post. Tap the screen, guys. Keep tapping the screen. Tapping is clapping. I so appreciate your support. Susan said, for working and happy listening to an intelligent woman. Thanks so much, Susan, and I appreciate your support. You're the best. It'll be a Donald Visa coin along with an infomercial. The next person's like, just watch, he'll be selling them on Facebook Marketplace for $24.99. No, I think he can make much more off the tech bros. I mean, I think what I really think is that they already paid. You know what I'm saying? Like the election, getting him elected, the hundreds of millions they put into that election was probably the payment. So I'm sure it's hard to tell a designer what decorations you want. I know. Exactly. Exactly. You remember when she was like, like she's apparently like she said she's like a graphic designer and her book was just black with like white words. I'm sure that really took a lot of thought. And then this is while Vivek is being aggressively attacked, he goes ahead and tweets out hard truths. And it's like, hey, you're literally a second from being unalived on this app. Like, just stop tweeting. And he goes, keep them coming. Oopsies. Sorry, I gotta make this. Keep them coming. It's definitely working like a charm. We need more hard truth by Vivek about American sluggers. It is not. And oh my God, Vivek is saying more. I saw another one today. I'm sorry. And this was underneath. I thought this was hilarious. Here's a hard truth. This is a good one, right? Here's a hard truth. Yes, it very much is. While Trump was golfing and like at Mar-a-Lago singing, this was all going on. And he refused to say anything. Which we might look as like negligent, but that's probably his plan. He's probably like, let Vivek and Elon get run over under the wheels of the bus. Like they can explain that we're not really going to like protect American jobs and I'll just sit here and golf while they explain. This is the hardest truth. Oh man, I never had so much fun on X. The reason why Trump hasn't commented on his tech bro visa controversy is that he made his deal with Elon months ago, which this is probably true. This is just them letting MAGA know after the election so they can take the heat instead of the guy in Palm Beach. They thought he wanted to deport everyone. That's what's going. Oh, I love these. I love an accessory. This is what's going on. This is what it is. He's just like, okay, let him just get run over under the wheels of the bus over and over, and I'll just be at Mar-a-Lago golfing. Because they are not. That's why all these billionaires are surrounding him. These billionaires and their success is dependent on the cheapest labor.
Is more sophisticated now than computers.
Thank you for the follow. The cheapest of the cheapest labor. They are not going to deport everyone. And MAGA's like, wait, we're not deporting everyone? I can't wait for them to realize. It's going to get even better. I'm sorry. And these are just more funny comments. The old stringing people along with lies until you get into office. Classic. And then promise everything, deliver nothing, blame someone else. I can't. I'm sorry. The memes people come up with on X are hilarious. Maybe we will auction off the Constitution. I mean, don't even mention it. And you know what's funny? It's science. He'd probably sign it before he did. He'd probably just sign it. Oh, and Ron Filipkowski was so on point when this was happening. He's like, we now enter phase 2 of the latest Trump betrayal, where he gives his mega donors exactly what he agreed to when he took their money, while MAGA blames everyone else but him. The advisors always get the blame, never dear leader. Isn't that the truth? Vivek was ran over by a bus like 7,000 times in 2 days while Trump is waving in his golf cart. Oh, and this is how hypocritical this whole thing is. This is March 4th, 2016. This is from Donald Trump's Twitter. My position on visas. This is specifically an interview with Megyn Kelly where she was asking him about H-1B visas. Megyn Kelly asked about highly skilled immigration. The H-1B program is neither high skilled nor immigration. Which tells you he doesn't know what H-1B is. These are temporary foreign workers imported from abroad for the explicit purpose of substituting for American workers at lower pay. So he knows, right? He knew in 2016 during an election he'll say the right things, but when it comes, that's why if MAGA could learn one thing, please stop listening to what he promises you and look at what he actually gave you. Stop listening to the promises. He doesn't follow through on them. It's not about the promises. It's what did he actually deliver, right? And he's saying, I remain totally committed to eliminating rampant, widespread H-1B abuse and ending outrageous practices such as those that occurred at Disney in Florida when Americans were forced to train their replacements. I will end forever the use of the H-1B as a cheap labor program and institute an absolute requirement to hire American workers for every visa and immigration program. No exceptions. This is the story when he needs votes. Post-election, now you're seeing the real Trump. And you would think MAGA would get burned, like 5 times and learn. Nope, we're still going. It's still not enough. And then this is true. I have never been more disappointed in the media, but maybe that's because the media is owned by people like Jeff Bezos and, the billionaire who owns the Los Angeles Times. This went unreported for so long. And even when they did report it, the way it was reported was ridiculous. It's like, oh, Elon Musk and Laura Loomer got in a fight. That's not what was happening. Like people were being banned. I don't know. It was so much crazier than the media let us down. I think Rod Filipkowski, when the media finally started catching on, he's like, I think legacy media might be figuring out that all hell broke loose early this morning between new MAGA tech bros and OG MAGA. Who told them? It's so true. They had no idea. And then I just have to show you guys some more funny comments. I followed so many people on X for their funny comments. Yep, MAGA is realizing the billionaires want to replace skilled U.S. workers with cheaper skilled immigrants who often come from countries that pay for their education. That's exactly what it is. The MAGA civil war is like watching 2 branches of the same family fight over who gets to inherit the conspiracy theories. Breaking news. People who built movement on grievance politics discover they can get mad at each other too. Oh God, I could never get enough. It is true. It's like MAGA finally figured out like, oh, we can get into fights with each other. But that's probably because they didn't have the richest people in the world masquerading as America First patriots before. Oh, and this is Trump, by the way. This is Trump on the day. This is what he was doing. I just want to show you guys that this is what Donald Trump was doing. This is it. This is Trump while Vivek is under the wheels of the bus and Elon Musk is threatening to F people in the face. This is what Trump was doing. And yeah, that's a real clip from that day. And then, oh my God, it's like the media caught on and it's like, oh, we need to calm this down. And who do they get? A former New York mayor who's also rich to be like, I agree with Elon and Vivek. It was absolutely absurd. He goes, maybe de Blasio will convince MAGA to learn to love Indians taking American jobs where Vivek and Musk have failed. Listen to this is former Mayor de Blasio.
Look, I see a couple of things going on here. First of all, I have to say I agree with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. I think they're pointing out the reality that we're living. You could say, and I hear Shermichael's point, I disagree with it, though, because I think it misses the fact that we want to get to the place where we can maximize the use of our own talent in this country. Let's bring in the best and brightest from all around the world. Let's really make our economy stronger. Let's become even more tech dominant. That's the way, in fact, to elevate the whole country and to create more opportunity for Americans of all kinds in the tech field. So I don't know why on earth we wouldn't want to grab all the talent out there, especially because if we don't, our competitors will. I think it's also fascinating that we're seeing this kind of open conflict. I think it's going to be the first of many. And of course, that speaks to the question of Elon Musk's role. I think really soon we're going to see more divergence between Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
This is where he started making sense.
It's natural, given each of them having the power they have. I think that's going to be
and being malignant narcissists, in my opinion, don't sue me.
Very, very important storyline in 2025 that these two people who appear to be allies but really have very different interests start to diverge issue by issue. We saw it also during the recent budget fight. I think we're going to see it on issues like artificial intelligence and climate, where Musk has been in a different place than Trump. That's going to have
places reality
ramification for how successful Trump can be in general. And then finally, I mean, look, for the MAGA world to be turning on their own this quickly. This is also an interesting question. They almost look like Democrats here. It's like, so I say this lovingly as a Democrat, like we have an ability to eat our own very quickly sometimes. Well, this is fascinating. Here are these heroes just a few minutes ago, and they say one thing that a lot of the MAGA world disagrees with, and suddenly they're being villainized. That's not good for that coalition.
Well said at the end, but also no one cares. Like, imagine this is what CNN produces. Like, MAGA is splitting apart. They get a former Democratic mayor of New York to agree with Elon. And I just want to point out, like, the difference between America First for Elon Musk is the number one gross domestic product. Like, think about it. We have the number one gross domestic product in America, right? But we are the only country in the developed world without universal health care, right? The maternal mortality rate is increasing. The life expectancy is decreasing. By every measurable crime is, I don't want to say crime's on the rise because it's not in America, but in comparison to other countries, we have in the developed world, we have exorbitantly high crime. Like, by every measurable metric, we are suffering. So, but to billionaires, when they say America First, they mean we, us, the few, want to make money. And when we say we're number one, we're just talking about the gross domestic product. None of that will ever trickle down to the American people, right? That's why you need to be very wary when you hear people saying, America's a corporation. Let's run it like a corporation. These people don't pay their workers, their corporations, a living wage. So yeah, we should not. America is not a corporation, right? It's our tax dollars that are meant to promote the general welfare, provide for the common defense, right? Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, America first, but billionaires first, and then the scraps will trickle down. But unfortunately, because I can do math, I know that actually nothing has ever trickled down. As a matter of fact, our share of the pie has trickled up since I talk about this. I did a statistical analysis of 1980 to 2024, basically the Reagan years on. It's only trickle up. Nothing has trickled down. The middle class and lower class has only lost wealth. Okay, and so then this is the next morning. So this is, I want to make sure I get it right. Friday morning, the 27th. Yeah, the 27th. And in the middle of the night, right around midnight, Elon Musk just started banning accounts, taking people's blue check marks, blocking them so they can't get money for subscriptions. Like, he went on a tear. The free speech absolutist, right? Wow, last night the free speech absolutist removed the blue checks, changed the this is what I was talking to you guys. He actually changed the algorithm to crush their engagement and remove the ability to get subscriptions from dozens of big MAGA accounts who criticized him, including Laura Loomer. And when I say change the algo, I'll try to explain it because, again, I don't know, but it's ridiculous what he did. I mean, he was basically he felt he was under attack, and he did what he did to make sure it doesn't happen again, I guess. And this is what Laura Loomer posted. If they ban me for sticking up for all of you, it's been nice fighting for all of you and President Trump. X removed my verification, my subs, and my ability to get premium again. And then she did a Plato quote. Please don't quote Plato. What? Nobody is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Plato. Okay, I don't know about that, but but yeah, I mean, this really happened to her in real time. And this is so interesting timing that a ton of top conservative influencer lose their verification and affiliate badges upon criticism of our legal immigration system. What gives? Like people so again, everything I showed you prior was on the 26th. Then people woke up on the 27th and realized that he in the middle of the night had retaliated against everyone. And then the fight was back on. Even, God, when Haya Rychek is getting involved, that's the woman's name who runs Libs of TikTok. She's an Orthodox Jew. Her name's Haya Rychek. She's like, why are so many accounts suddenly losing their blue checks and subscribers? Petty Elon gets his revenge on MAGA critics. I mean, there's no free. And this is actually a great example. So remind people of this. Whenever you're in a live and some weirdo starts talking about, they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story. This has nothing to do with the First Amendment, right? Unfortunately, it's very hypocritical for Elon Musk, a private business owner, to be yelling all the time about free speech and the First Amendment, and said he had to buy Twitter to protect the First Amendment, but then is literally suppressing speech of his people, of people on the right. I do think that's very ironic, but is that a violation of the First Amendment? No. Private business owners can do whatever they want. Sorry, that's why I get so annoyed when I have to hear people like, oh, Twitter suppressed the Hunter Biden story. Yeah, they can do whatever they want. Welcome to being a private corporation with a moderation team. Just like Elon Musk can just delete a bunch of accounts. It's not smaller accounts. Like Laura Loomer got I think it was like a 12-hour ban because she's probably too big to disappear. People would be like, wow, that is really messed up. He outright was deleting accounts. Allegedly. That's what's being reported. And look at this. Okay, again, trigger warning. I don't like that he's saying this, but this is him acknowledging what he did, basically. And people that are subtweeting him, like he's mad because people are calling him out and being like, hey, this doesn't make sense. What are you doing? People questioning him was angering him. And I thought it was great what Ron Filipkowski said. MAGA has been called worse by better people. Amen. Like truer words were never spoken. And then look at this. Most of them still don't understand he's referring to them. Sad. Like, that is so true. Right. He is insulting MAGA right and left. On the 27th, on this day, it goes into him just basically saying that MAGA is, racist. And some of them still are just like, he's not talking about me. Like, what? It's like they don't, there are those who are just like, he can't be talking about me. It's like, can't he? Who else is he talking about? Oh, and this is the actual proof. So I think this is a screenshot from her account, right, of what it looked like. 11 hours and 59 minutes. Like, what happened to her account? We have determined that you have violated the X rules. Like, terms of service don't matter on X. If you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, you will be punished. I mean, that's what we learned from this. Like, you question Elon Musk, you get a timeout. And then I thought this was interesting. If you want to read more about it, this is a Midas Touch article, and I thought they did a good job of actually showing some what just happened? Showing some screenshots and stuff. Hold on. I just think I cut off the top. I'm like, why is it so close up there? So I would suggest reading this. But the more interesting part, I think, is basically what you learn in this article is that when Laura Loomer got banned, I think she reached out to Midas Touch to help her, not help her, but get the word out, which I'm sure she reached out to a lot of publications and was basically like, hey, can you tell everyone what Elon has done and that, I'm banned and I haven't done anything and don't deserve it. But I do think, like, as someone who's constantly, spreading lies about the left or misinformation, she's one of the progenitors of Stop the Steal. And when she needed it most, Midas Touch helped her and wrote an article and posted the screenshot that she gave them and did her a solid. So I'm just saying, I thought that was actually kind of cool because whilst I don't agree with a lot of things Laura Loomer says, I definitely don't agree with the richest man in the world having a fit and banning her. And again, the day I thought I would be agreeing with Laura Loomer, I don't know what's going on. And so this is about the algorithm changes. I was telling you he changed the algorithm in the middle of the night. Yeah. Just a reminder that the algorithm is trying to maximize unregretted user seconds, right? If far more credible verified subscriber accounts, not bots, mute block your account compared to those who like your post, your reach will decline significantly. So basically, if you get blocked, you're going to be muted. It's like a social credit score. There's now, and I found a user who put it beautifully. Hold on. Well, first and then there's part 2. He replies to his own tweet and says, that said, any accounts found to be engaged in coordinated attacks to spam target accounts. So he's saying that MAGA, who had a lot of feelings and thoughts about him being a traitor and a liar, were spamming, that he's calling them spam accounts, basically, and saying they'll be dealt with mute blocks while themselves be categorized correctly as spam. So if a large group of people start telling Elon Musk angrily they don't agree with him, they're going to be marked as spam. Live by the spam, die by the spam. And this is a person who likes him, by the way. This is like an Elon Musk. This is like one of his fans. If verified accounts with 100K and 1 million followers blocked me, does that mean I get deboosted even if I'm subscribed to X Premium? That's like the highest level of subscription because there's 2. And he just goes, yes. What? But basically, if popular accounts like Elon Musk's account or someone with 1 million followers blocks you, right? And then he's like, but it can be offset by people liking, reposting, or forwarding your content. But what if you're not a creator? What if you're just a small account on X that paid for a blue check mark and basically you say something to a big creator they don't like? Like, people were giving examples. MAGA was posting things and they're like, Lex Friedman blocked me and I've never even said a word to him. They're like, I don't even know why. And you're saying now I'm going to be deprioritized by the algorithm because of that. It doesn't make sense. I thought this was the best way that someone put it. This is pretty genius because it's accurate. So it's a social credit score, blocks and mutes as whoopsies. Sorry. So it's a social credit score, blocks and mutes as behavioral credit metrics. Musk is creating a shadow score for every account. The real genius or evil of this system is how it forces people to police themselves. It's behavioral conditioning. He's training people to stay quiet before they even speak. Obey in advance, right? That's exactly what it is. The end game, a Twitter social credit system. It's no different than China's social credit system where people lose privileges for bad behavior. On Musk's Twitter, you lose visibility for offending the wrong crowd. The algorithm becomes your silent judge, jury, and executioner. That's spot on. Nailed it. Why are so many still on X? Well, think about it. We're talking about MAGA, who thought this is our place. Like, this is where we're safe. I don't post on, I just want to be clear. I'm just lurking around on X, and I push my lives there. Like I stream there, but on Spaces, but I don't post. So these are people who thought like Elon Musk bought X to protect them from the left, silencing them. Do you know? That's why they're in shock. That's why they cannot believe this is happening. They're like, what? But yeah, I mean, think about what this means. Then, yeah, basically all of MAGA can just agree, hey, let's all block left-wing accounts, and then they will be deprioritized in the algorithm. Yeah, it's not good for leftists, but yeah, that's to be expected on. And then this guy, God, Mario Nawful, if you don't know, he's like an an Elon Musk simp that Elon Musk like retweets him constantly. Translation: play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And Musk says, yes, this is directed at Laura Loomer. Like they're basically talking about Elon Musk in the middle of the night blocked a bunch of people, demonetize them, ban Laura Loomer for 12 hours, change the algorithm. And it just is like, yeah, I did. Like, what? And then I have to hear, thank you so much. And then I have to hear from these same people that, we were limiting free speech, which they don't even understand what free speech is. Free speech has nothing to do with private corporations. And these are more people. Oh, hey, Joanna.
Hey, like it's so funny to watch. Like, oh my God, what is this leopard doing eating my face? Yeah, dummy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna eat other faces, not mine.
Literally, nope. Quick commercial break. Once again, thank everybody for being here. Keep liking, keep tapping, keep sharing, keep gifting. Send Felice some coins at a girl has no name on Cash App and Venmo. If y'all see that little blue and white notebook in the top left corner, those are polls. That helps with the engagement. So hop in, take those, pick the selection you like the most so we can see. And they're all cute options. And it helps the TikTok understand that we're in here and we're doing all the things. So y'all keep doing all the things. I like how your yapping fingers are tapping fingers, although they've slowed a bit. So let's get that. We should have been at 150K. I'm gonna let y'all live because I'm sure everybody's still exhausted from eating all the delicious food over the holidays. So I'm gonna cut y'all a little bit of slack, but yeah, get those fucking numbers up. Thank you. Let's get these shares up to 350. Let's get these likes up to 200K as soon as we can. There are 600 people in here. We can do that in no time. I got faith in y'all. I got faith in me. Once again, we appreciate you, Felice. You look gorgeous. The top knot is top knotting. The snacks are snacking and the water's watering. Let's everybody show your appreciation and be active participants in the chat because Felice is giving us all these receipts. And they're fantastic. Seeing MAGA eat itself from the inside out, old MAGA versus new MAGA, thanks to President Musk, is glorious.
Love you. You're so funny. You would make the best flight attendant. We should have a plane full of MAGA, and you can say that. Just kidding.
Yeah, I would probably just I would do stuff that I can't.
It's not safe to be on planes. It's not safe to be on planes. It's not safe to be on planes, as we learned this last week. We've had 2 plane crashes, and one is very obviously you know who.
Clearly, but yeah, thank you everybody for being here.
Downing planes.
Liking. It's nuts. We're in hell. Like the new year is going to be here, 2025. The abyss is upon us, and I'm not excited about it.
Yeah, agreed. No planes. I know, for real. I mean, at least not ones that are flying in the former USSR. That's for sure. Thank you so much, Joanna. These are MAGA people trying to figure out why he changed the algorithm. Why are people losing their blue check marks? If there is something new that's disqualifying, it really should be announced ahead of time. This is a free speech platform still, right? No, it never was. No. Who determines what is spam or not? Seems like deplatforming accounts via spam sounds an awful lot like the new hate speech to get accounts taken down. Free speech is free speech. If someone posts a lot, that is protected speech under the First Amendment. These people still don't get it. Do you see what I'm saying? First Amendment is the government silencing your speech, not a petty man baby child who bought a social media site like that. This is why we will never hear the end of Hunter Biden, because they don't know what the First Amendment is. They literally still to this day, these are the same people that are always yelling about the First Amendment and still do not. Yes, that's very true, Brittany, and also about our government. That's the facts. Oh, thank you so much, Julie. Thank you so much for the $10. She said, thanks for being so informative. Thank you. And John says, love you, John, for therapy edibles. You don't, and that will be used for that. I promise. I love you, Fish Trucker. We were talking earlier today. You're the best. Free speech is free speech. I love how they're also saying it's the new hate speech. This is probably a bigot, right? He's like, first I was being banned for hate speech. Now you're trying to say I'm spam. It's not lost on me that these people are like, I thought once Elon Musk bought this platform, I could yell all the bigoted things I want. Apparently, that's not true. It's the same as the left. Look, and then he repeats it at the bottom. Like, he's one of these people because he says it twice. It's the same as the left taking down accounts under the guise of hate speech. I wonder what this man has gotten in trouble for. Yeah, and this is true. Like, so Laura Loomer got hung out to dry and still nothing from Mar-a-Lago, right? Like, and she said, what's also sickening is the silence over the extreme disrespect towards the MAGA base that worked so hard to get Trump elected. I guess since we don't have billions of dollars, we don't really matter to anyone. I hope Team Trump addresses this digital class warfare against MAGA. And Ron Filikowski said, the silence out of, if you ever see MA, that's Mar-a-Lago, right? Mal was deafening. MAGA went to war while their commanding general played golf. Isn't that the truth? I also think that's the point, because he's not going to ban H-1B visas. As a matter of fact, he's going to give them more. And he's just like, better they end up under the wheels of the bus than me. And this is just an example of Elon Musk banning an account, right? Like, this is a lie. Did you make this lie? Where did you find this lie? Liar. The account is no longer there. Oh, Elon had a bad day. And in fairness, I will say I think he did ban a lot of accounts who were saying, like I'll say, there was some racism. There were some gross things being said. Oh, and this is where Elon Musk went nuclear, right? Like, Elon Musk was losing his mind and then really, truly lost his effing mind. He said, the reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B, which he was never here on an H-1B. He was here on a student visa. And he dropped out of school and started a business, which is illegal. Take a big step back and F yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. Oh my, imagine telling MAGA to fuck themselves in the face. Like, this is where we're at. He told them to fuck themselves in the face, and he means it too. Like, that's hilarious. He changed the algorithm and told them to F themselves in the face. And this is funny. And I never go on Getter anymore. I do have an account. I have a whole alter ego on far right media, but I had to because I heard about this. So, like, Steve Bannon posts like Elon Musk's post and then replies and is like, someone please notify Child Protective Services. We need to do a wellness check on this toddler. I'm sorry. The day I thought I would be agreeing with Steve Bannon, but truly, we need to do a wellness check on this toddler. Like the day I thought Steve Bannon would be making sense. And Steve Bannon won't have, like, he has never had a personal account on Twitter, like in protest. He won't be on there. That's why he posted this on Getter. Like he has his like shows, like Bannon's War Room, that's on X, but he doesn't have a personal account on X and he won't in protest. And I thought this was good. This pastor said, even though the racism would only go towards immigrant, or Elon thought the racism would only go towards immigrants at the border and not those he wanted to hire for cheaper labor for the tech industry. Surprise! Surprise! It's everyone. This is so true. Musk is telling Trump supporters to go F themselves while Trump just wrapped up another set of Studio 54 hits in the ballroom at Mar-a-Lago after a tough day of golf. Literally nowhere to be found. Elon Musk's losing his mind and asking MAGA to F themselves in their faces. Which, God, this was one of my favorite posts he did. I think we are entering Howard Hughes territory with the owner, not the 1930s Hughes aircraft Howard Hughes. I'm talking about the 1967 Howard Hughes, holed up on the 9th floor of the Desert Inn in Vegas, watching Ice Station Zebra 150 times on a continuous loop. You know, if you guys have seen Howard Hughes documentaries or seen he was like a germaphobe who was like peeing in bottles and putting them outside the door. Like, he was losing his mind, and he's making a comparison between Howard Hughes, who was obscenely wealthy for that time and losing his mind, to Elon Musk. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen anything on Howard Hughes the later years, he lost his ever-loving mind. Keep tapping the screen, guys. Tap, tap, tap. We can get to 200K. We should be at 200K. Tapping is clapping. I so appreciate you guys tapping the screen while listening. It is highly, highly appreciated. Trump said he had, this is so funny. Trump said he had all this shit figured out after the last time when he didn't know what he was doing and promised he was really going to appoint all the best people this time around. I don't know. Yeah, none of us know because he hasn't figured anything out. Oh, I love these comments too. The first crisis will show he's the same guy that screwed up the COVID response, the wall, foreign relations, and the economy with an even more inept team around him than before. The second one's better. Concept of a government. That's what we have at this point. Concepts of a government. That is exactly what happened the first time. Oh, and this is great because this is the type of post that MAGA were posting. Like, they're like, "Oh, I'm second guessing everything I thought." It's like, really? I'm deeply questioning my decision to support the Republican Party after witnessing the persistent and dehumanizing attacks directed at me and my community by individuals who, despite hiding behind a veneer of respectability, openly harbor and amplify racist ideologies. I tried to hold on to the belief that these voices represent a vocal minority, not the broader values of the party, but time and time again, I am disheartened as accounts with massive followings, many of them wielding significant influence, parrot unhinged conspiracy theories, and perpetuate overtly racist tropes without consequence. Yeah, you just described MAGA. What are you talking about? I love these people who are like, I can't believe this is happening. This isn't just about the isolated comments or fringe behavior. It's about a pattern that reveals an uncomfortable truth about the party's failure to unequivocally reject bigotry. These attacks aren't simply offensive. They are alienating to communities whose values, work ethic, and aspirations align with many conservative principles, yet find themselves constantly vilified. Yeah, welcome to the conservative party. Like, are you joking? Welcome to being a conservative. That's the point. I had one more thing I wanted to show you on this. Look at this comment on the bottom. Until they came for me. She wrote, that's genius because it's true. That if you guys, is it a poem? I can't remember. Is it a poem or it's like an essay or something? But yeah, I thought that was a really smart thing. I can't remember. Is it a poem? It's a poem. If you haven't read it, that's kind of what it's about. It's about like, they came for, the Jews and then, the socialists and the communists. And then that's what it's about. It's about like, oh man. And then they came for me. It's like, yeah, I'm shocked. I can't believe this is happening. Yeah. Cause maybe it's your turn now. Oh, and I love Patrick Bet-David slander because he's trying to back up as an immigrant from Iran. I saw this as an edge. I didn't mind working 80 hours a week. Yeah, he's like, I didn't mind being exploited for labor. By the way, if you don't know who Patrick Bet-David is, he's a literal grifter. Literally. And this guy was pointing out who he is. Patrick Bet-David made his money by founding a predatory multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, which he then used to market himself as a business guru on YouTube. We do not need more scammers in this country. I could never get enough of watching MAGA eat itself. So finally, Trump weighs in, right? Trump has been silent the entire time, and then he speaks to the New York Post, to a Rupert Murdoch rag. John Levine, I don't know if you guys know him, but that's who he spoke to. And the irony is, Trump just gets off the golf course and, oh, sorry, hold on. Puzzle piece. The live will not be shut down. Tap the screen, guys. Keep tapping the screen. I appreciate your interaction with the live. Yeah, so Trump won't post anything on True Social. Think about it. If he really believed something, he would post it on True Social. He just talked to a reporter for the New York Post and says that he backs. I have many H-1B visas on my properties. He doesn't. Right? This is why it's so ironic. Trump is mistaking H-2B visas for H-1B visas. Elon Musk has been going around on the internet convincing people that the reason H-1B visas are different is because it's highly skilled labor, like the 0.001% of intelligent immigrants. And then Trump's like, oh, these people are cutting my grass. Trump's talking about HB2 visas. He doesn't actually even know what we're talking about. Here, I'll just read. This was his quote. I always liked the visas. I have always been in favor of the visas. That's why we have them, Trump said by phone, referring to the H-1B program, which permits companies to hire foreign workers in specialty occupations. I have H-1B visas on my properties. I've been a believer in H-1B. I've used it many times. It's a great program. Added Trump, who restricted access to foreign worker visas in his first administration and has been critical of the program in the past. Hypocrisy. I thought this was a good clip.
President-elect Trump supporting Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy after the two backed H-1B visas for foreign workers, telling the New York Post, quote, I've always liked the visas. I've always been in favor of the visas. That's why we have them. I have many H-1B visas on my properties. I've been a believer in H-1B. I've used it many times. It's a great program. Our next guest, though, is not sold on Trump's claims. Joining us now is American Majority founder and CEO Ned Ryan. Wow, a lot of confusion around this because, as you know, Ned, and first of all, welcome and Happy New Year. As you know, Donald Trump had a lot of criticisms for this program and said there were a lot of abuses of it. Elon Musk has now come out, Vivek Ramaswamy, and now Donald Trump told the New York Post this. So what is your take?
Well, my take is the entire conversation started around increasing the number of H-1B visas, which was precisely the wrong place to start a conversation in expanding what is a broken and abused system. And I think a lot of people can acknowledge the H-1B visa system is broken. It's been abused. Elon posted some things last night that I think would be a nice starting point, that you have to significantly raise the minimum salary and then add an annual cost to these H-1B visas to maintain them. I think we have to get to the point, Rachel, where we make it prohibitively expensive to have an H-1B visa to really focus on having those truly exceptional people come in and use them. But Rachel, I think the thing has to be the thing that has to be discussed is the fundamental issues around this whole entire debate. is that America fundamentally is not an economic zone. We're not some global storefront. Americans should not be treated as second-class citizens in their own country because federal policy allows billion-dollar corporations to hire foreign workers at under market wages instead of paying American workers full wages. So if we can start to frame the conversation that way and understand the system is broken, it needs to be reformed, and the American people should actually be prioritized in all things, that really is the message of America first.
So that's not everyone's message of America first, but you're making sense, sir. Jennifer, thank you so much for the $10. I wonder how that whole blocking, not being against First Amendment when he blocks them will work out once he's president or even part of the government. I know. And he is technically part of I mean, he's affiliated with the government. It is so shady. Keep up the good work. Hope you are having a good holiday season. Yes, better than Thanksgiving. Christmas is going better than Thanksgiving, I would say. Oh, I love this. Naturally, Trump finally weighs in on the visa controversy and fucks it all up because he has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to immigration law. But he thinks he knows more than everyone about everything, so never bothered to ask someone who does know. I think, again, Trump is talking about H-2B visas. Like he doesn't, you don't have highly skilled laborers on cutting your grass, Trump. I love this. Elon's telling us H-1Bs are super geniuses while Trump is telling us they are cutting his grass. It's so true. Trump is just like, sorry, I was golfing. What's going on? Yeah, I have some people on work visas cutting my grass. It's nice. And then I love this account. Whoever this account is, because I always see her, Khashoggi's Ghost. That is such a good name for X to just constantly troll MAGA. Does Trump even understand what an H-1B visa is? No, he does not. Hey, kid, you have an H-1B visa, right? Or at least, can you tell me what one of those is? I wish I could be a professional troll on this is so good. Okay, so I've talked about, this is that show. It's, oh my God, why am I Pushing the Limits? I was going to say No Limits. No, Pushing the Limits. It is this gentleman, which you guys always remind me what his name is. I forget every time. Last time I think Fax was on the show and he was reminding me. I always forget his name. Is it Brian Shapiro? Okay, thank you. Every time I forget his name. And this is Ron Filipkowski, whose tweets we've been reading, who I love his brain. He was on Pushing the Limits. I want to say maybe Saturday. I want to say Friday or Saturday. Probably Saturday. I think Saturday. And great clip. If you want to go back and watch it, it's so good. It's an independent call-in radio show where this guy, Brian Shapiro, basically just shames MAGA.
If you're coming on one of these visas and you work for these companies, they own you. And that's what they want. This is why they don't want to hire Americans. It's not because they're not enough smart Americans. What they want is employees who know that if they don't do everything that they're told, they'll deport them. They'll have them deported by firing them. So what Coulter said is what these guys want is they don't want employees. They want indentured servants. And she's absolutely right. And this is why MAGA is right on this point, is that, you saying there's not enough qualified Americans is BS. You want Indians because you can work them like dogs and threaten to deport them if they don't go along with the program. And so that's number one. But number two is Vivek went one step further, is he went after American culture. And what he said was, Americans don't work hard from birth. In high school, that, we worship the prom queen and the quarterback and we screw around too much. We watch too much TV. We have too much fun. We go to the movies too much and we should be grinding. And he talks about how Asian parents, make their kids stay home and work. They don't let them go out and do all this nonsense and have all this fun. They make sure they study and work hard. And MAGA is just like, what the hell are you talking about, man? That's not the kind of country we want. That's certainly not the MAGA culture. Those guys are all like living out their glory days of their high school football days in their minds, and so have Vivek say, you guys are a bunch of slackers and American culture sucks. So we need to bring in more Indians. Man, that ain't playing, man.
What I love Ron Filipkowski. Speaking my language, absolutely spot on. And then this is just, remember when I said, and this is at the point where Elon Musk is starting to refer to MAGA or imply that they're racist, right? And he's saying, yes, and those contemptible fools must be removed from the Republican Party root and stem. He's talking about racists. He's saying MAGA's the one, the racists need to be removed from the Republican Party. And then this person replies and says, the Republican Party does not exist without these contemptible fools. It was a party in decline before Trump came along with MAGA. I mean, not wrong, but, and oh my gosh. So again, these are some people we know's comments on this situation. Nikki Haley said, there is nothing wrong with American workers or American culture. All you have to do is look at the border and see how many want what we have. We should be investing and prioritizing in Americans, not foreign workers. Nikki Haley making sense. Too bad you're kind of scary. Dan Crenshaw's response to Haley's post. I tried to warn y'all about Vivek. Notice how they focus on the brown guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, notice how they won't focus on Elon Musk. They were specifically focusing on Vivek. And then, of course, here comes Tim Burchett, which just, he's out of his mind. Claims that a lot of people coming in on these visas are Chinese spies. I side with President Trump on H-1B visa issue, but we need to make sure the people we bring over here embrace our country. Whatever the hell that means. Yeah, it's racist. And then Nick Fuentes, which I refuse to go to his page, otherwise I would have screenshotted this, who had dinner with Trump at Mar-a-Lago 2 years ago. He's a white nationalist, I don't know. Is that disrespectful? Call him a little kid. To me, he's a kid, I don't even mean that disrespectfully. I think he's like 22 or something. He said, Elon told Trump's base to go fuck themselves in the face for opposing cheap foreign labor, and MAGA influencers are trying to spin that into a win. It's disgusting, and you should never forget this episode. Sometimes little kids get it right, this is why I'm like, I don't know what to make of this. Like, scary people are starting to make sense. A little angry child is making more sense than adults in the room. He's not 28. Nick Fuentes is not 28. Is he? I don't think so. If he is, oops, but I don't think he is. Someone look it up. Let's crowdsource that information. I'm sure it says on the internet. 26. Okay. Thanks, RJ. More Loomer. I guess that's true. Because from the first time I saw him get kicked out of CPAC with those stupid glasses on, I guess that probably was about 6 years ago. And he's 20. He was probably 20 then. So forever in my mind, he has remained that age. More Loomer. Why are former Trump critics now dictating immigration policy, calling Americans stupid, and pushing foreign tech workers? People like David Sachs, who backed DeSantis against Trump in the primary. See, they're not forgetting, right? Now Trump has these billionaires are giving him a bunch of money, but these are people who very much never wanted Trump in power and claim Trump wouldn't survive his indictments are now being welcomed into the White House. Billionaires and Silicon Valley elites now want to seat at the table to dodge accountability and influence immigration policy. God, I hate that she's making sense. I hate it. It's awful. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. Right-wing talk show host Bill Mitchell, everything was going so well. Doge was all the rage and tech CEOs were begging to work with Trump. Smooth sailing to January 20th. Then Laura Loomer comes along and throws a hand grenade in the middle of the whole thing and starts a MAGA civil war. She didn't, by the way. This did not start because of her. So that's what I'm saying. You don't even understand what happened. I ask you, who benefits from this? The Democrats. That's who. Is Laura on their payroll? It would not surprise me. So some of MAGA just went to, the day. I love this. I can tell you with metaphysical certainty that Loomer is not being paid by any Democrats for anything. Also, it was hundreds of activists, not just Loomer. That is a fact. DeSantis supporter and conservative journalist Pedro Gonzalez. Elon's position was totally unacceptable to the online right. Thank you so much. They spent days becoming... this is one of my favorite posts because this is the truth. They spent days becoming caricatures of what the left says they are. Then Trump gave Elon's position his seal of approval, and they immediately fell in line. Pathetic. Yeah. Not all of them. That is true. It didn't happen with all of them, but a lot of them, right? All it takes in cognitive dissonance is a word from Dear Leader, and they're like, oh, I guess I must have had the wrong idea. Like, no, you were following a correct line of logic, and then you went back into cognitive dissonance for your cult leader. You were so close, MAGA, so close, yet so far. Musk outright nuked dozens of X accounts, just deleted them. Most of them were smallish far-right accounts that replied to his posts with a racial component to their argument, largely directed against Indian immigrants. Some just owned him too much and made him look foolish. Doesn't really matter why. The terms of service mean nothing. Look at this. I'm not going to read that word, but I just thought this quote was hilarious. X is the toy of a you-know-what addled child. Just saying. Call it like you see it, Ron. And then, so Elon Musk on Friday is implying that MAGA's racist, right? And Bannon is furious about it, right? He's like, you're calling the MAGA movement racist? How dare you? The coalition is building Black and Hispanic families, and now you want to play the racism card? You think we're going to tolerate that? We're not. I don't care how big a check you wrote. Oh my God, I could die listening to this stuff. They're going to kill each other. And this is, so that's literally basically, Bannon says that. And then Elon basically, this is his quote, right? He says, the contemptible fools must be removed from the Republican Party root and stem. And then I think he got a little scared and corrected himself. The contemptible fools I'm referring to are those in the Republican Party who are hateful, unrepentant racists. They will absolutely be the downfall of the Republican Party if they were not removed. It's just how many of those are there? I think this is a great point by Laura Loomer, because it's true. I'm going to have a hard time selling the GOP in 2026. If they can't even fight for free speech, I mean, really, what are we fighting for if we can't even stand up to big tech for free speech? The elites don't care about you or your voice. We are peasants, I suppose. This is a good point, you guys. If you guys don't know, MAGA traditionally, they don't show up for midterms. Ever. If Trump is not on the ticket, these people don't care. They care about Donald Trump, dear leader. They don't show up when Trump isn't on the ballot. They are showing up to vote for him, and that's why they're there. So she is correctly pointing out something the Republicans need to be very, very concerned about, right? Trump is not going to be on the ballot in 2026. And if you have a bunch of billionaires basically disenfranchising the MAGA base, and Trump's just like, well, they're rich and I'm rich and I'm elected now, so I don't care. You know, Trump doesn't think about it. Does Trump have to care about the future of the Republican Party? Not really. He has 4 years and he's done, right? He's a narcissist. He doesn't care. But she's identifying a real problem. Hey, MAGA doesn't show up in midterms when Trump's not on the ballot. I love this. Next up on the tour de deplorables, we enter phase 3 where they blame Democrats for the whole thing. Decent possibility George Soros will be mentioned. I can't tell you how many people were mentioning George Soros in comments. That was already happening actually before he posted this. Do we think Trump is ever leaving though? Yeah, I do. I mean, just by time marching on and by nature of eating fast food for your whole life. Yes, I do think Trump is leaving. And then comes Mark Levin, right? Like Ron Filipkowski posted that, and then he's like, first, the media tried to create a battle between Elon Musk and President Trump. Now the media are trying to create a battle between Elon Musk and certain MAGAites. MAGAites? I don't know. That doesn't sound good. They need to work on that. MAGAans? MAGA. We have to work on that. We'll workshop it. It's all nonsense. The vast majority of MAGAites, that's ridiculous, don't give a damn about these online media promoted fights. Yep, blame the media. Here we go. Oh, those are some good ones in the chat. I'm not going to read some of the Magadonians is probably, that really goes off the tongue. Magadonians, they should be if you guys, I like that one. Magadonians is good. Oh, someone wrote at Feliz Navidad. Hey, if you want to join my Discord, this is a TikTok account. That's just my name, my nickname as a child. Because, well, actually, to this day, everyone thinks my last name is Navidad. Because when you have a name like Feliz, no one bothers to ask you what your last name is. So this is just my TikTok business account. Just send a message here. Just message it. Just look it up, message it. And I'm going to start, I think, just putting it down here and just having it live so you can just click on it. I was thinking about that this weekend and I forgot. Sorry, I've had a lot going on. But yeah, it's just message this TikTok account and we will get you a link to the Discord. Sorry, I have a lot of angry MAGA men trying to join my Discord, so I just can't leave a link in my bio like normal people can. Trust me, for the protection of everyone inside my Discord. I can't do it. Oh, I love it. So basically the Trump, oopsies. I hate when that happens. So basically, the Trump administration's immigration policy is to increase the number of people from other countries who come in and take high-skilled, high-paying American jobs while deporting everyone else doing physically grueling jobs for shit wages. That's how you know it's not going to happen. It's not economically possible to do that. So I actually think this is just the opening salvo of MAGA finding out their dreams are not going to come true, which actually is good for them. They just don't know it. Because I just keep using the expression, why would you bite off your nose to spite your face? I'm sorry you don't like brown people and they make you uncomfy, but we should not crash the American economy. Because in the boom bust of capitalism, right, it's a sine wave. It goes like this: boom, bust, boom, bust. You know who makes money in the bust? Billionaires, capitalists. That's when transfers of wealth happen. That nothing will happen to them in an American recession. Nothing. They will actually make money. We will all lose. I know you're uncomfy about brown and black people, but I'm sorry you're going to have to deal with it because we're not going to crash our economy. I just can't wait for them to find out. I wonder if they'll tell them in stages, or they're I wonder how they're going to figure out. There are studies done. I love the Peterson Institute for International Economics. They are a great think tank. They did a study. If we deport just 8.3 million people, and that's not counting the price, right? The estimates on deportation is between 60 billion and 600 billion. Like, we can't deport anyone. The countries won't even take them back. But just on what it will do to our economy, we're looking at like an 8.3% loss in GDP. Just to give you an idea, the Great Depression was a 4.3% contraction of the GDP. We're looking at almost double. I don't want to live through that, and I don't think anyone should either. It's not going to be fun. And we, the middle class, the lower class, we will be the ones suffering. Rich people are not going to suffer. They're going to bring on the soba. This needs to be a brave new world. If we have to go through, MAGA hasn't read. A Brave New World is a book about a dystopian nightmare, but at least in that society, they, give people soma. Basically, whenever people start questioning, like, am I being robbed? Like, what's going on here? They're just like, go on a soma holiday. And that's what we need. If we have to go through this, bring in the illicit sub. I need to be drugged or I need a lobotomy. Oh, I love this one. Shut up and buy another red hat and Trump Bible. He never asked you to have an opinion on anything and never cared if you did. Truer words were never spoken. That is the truth. MAGA found out, hey, nobody wants your opinion. And you guys should be offended by that. You guys were right. You were on the right track for once. Like, you were following the clues. The breadcrumbs were telling you, hey, I think rich people are robbing us. I think Trump is surrounding himself with a bunch of rich people and forming an oligarchy. No, that word's too big. But you were getting there. You were right neighborhood, wrong address. And then Trump said, no, I agree with Elon. And all of a sudden, the haze of cognitive dissonance set back in, and you guys gave up. You were so close. You need to keep going. Keep thinking. Don't stop thinking just because dear leader tells you to stop thinking. I know Trump isn't draining the swamp. He is the swamp. Think about that. Think about this. How could you be working on government efficiency if you hold so much, if everybody that's supposed to be working on it holds stock in the military industrial complex and is benefiting indirectly off increasing the size of the military? I'm just saying, food for thought, MAGA. You were right there. Blue's Clues. You were there. And then after all of this mess Elon created, he literally posts, please post a bit more positive, beautiful, or informative content on this platform. Like, are you kidding me? You're a nightmare. You deleted people, you nuked accounts, you changed the algorithm, you told everyone to go fuck themselves in the face. And then you're like, hey guys, can we please be more positive? I don't like the direction this is. That's narcissism. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in my opinion, please don't sue me for defamation. I'm just saying that kind of inability to, lack of self-awareness. Oh yes. I love Jared Ryan Sears. I don't know if you know who he is, but I follow him on X. It is the mindset of a narcissist, believing nothing they do is wrong. When you say horrible things, spread conspiracies, remove verified status, call people names, and buy an election, it is because you are working for the greater good. When anyone else does even one of those things, particularly against you, they are wrong, terrible people. The rules apply to everyone else, not to you. That is the nature of narcissism. God can't be wrong. God's omniscient. God's omnipresent, right? God's omnipotent. God's never wrong. That is what we're witnessing with Elon Musk, a wave of aggressive narcissism. Thank you so much for tapping the screen. John says Trump is going to primary Crenshaw. I know Dan Crenshaw they are really not happy with Dan Crenshaw on, yeah, I think Dan Crenshaw is trying to repair, but I agree. Dan Crenshaw is teetering.
Yes, Steph in the comments said it, and I agree completely. Like, at this point, Elon is just like MAGA, committing violence with their words, committing violence with their votes, and then turning around and saying, hey, the election's over. Can't we just get along? Hell no, fuck you. We cannot get along. This is not a kumbaya moment. You did what you did, and now you reaping what you sowed, and you don't like it. Well, congratulations. The leopard are going to eat your faces first. And a lot of us are going to sit back with popcorn and cherry Coke. Shout out to Jerry in the comments because I love a cherry Coke.
I do too.
And they're so delicious. Yep, guys, we have another poll up in the corner. Make sure that you click on that little blue and white notebook to let TikTok know that we're engaged and we're doing all the things. Thank you for tapping, although we should be at 250K. So get it up there if y'all want to keep yapping. And I know you do because I see you. I enjoy the yapping as well. Continue to continue to gift. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that too. It supports Felice and allows her to keep bringing us all this phenomenal content as she sits up there and looks effortlessly gorgeous. Isn't she pretty? And the brain is braining. The brain is gorgeous as well. So, yeah. Keep supporting. If you want to send her some coinage, we love that too. Cash App and Venmo, Girl has my name. Yay! Reset your live goal.
Doing it. I'm doing it. Look, we did it.
Good job. Big thumbs up.
Did you know there's a new GIF that's like called Delulu? I'm looking. I can't. There it is. There's a new TikTok GIF called Delulu.
We should have had that this entire election cycle. I don't know what TikTok waited so long to give us Delulu for, but I guess they could since we were already getting it. And we're still getting it. But you guys, if you don't know, if you came in a little bit late, reset the gift goal again. If y'all want to catch up on all this great information, if you want to go back and look at some of the hilariousness, because Maca eating itself from the inside out is absolutely diabolically hilarious, subscribe to Felice on YouTube. It's also at A Girl Has No Name. I'll be periodically popping in the comments just in case you forget. But yeah, keep checking the polls, keep liking, keep sharing, keep gifting. Yeah, we haven't gotten, 240. We're almost at 250. Keep it going. Let's get to 300. And I feel like we can real soon. Within 27 minutes, we could be at 300K. Get those fingers going. Love y'all. Thanks.
You're the absolute best, Joanna. That's the best when you get to hang out with your besties all day. Lucky us. You guys should be in our group chat. It's fun. It's dark, but it's fun. Dark sarcasm is the only way to get through this. Oh my gosh, speaking of dark sarcasm, this is one of the best moments of Saturday. I forgot. Are Mondays a day when Musk tells everyone to go fuck themselves in the face? Or is that a day when he tells us to only make positive posts? Or, I mean, this was... like, it's so true. Like, this guy told Mecca to F themselves in the face, and they were just pretending like it didn't happen. No. And then the comments were even better. Sorry, hold on. Let me make them bigger. You better ask Elmo. Apparently he makes the rules. And then this guy, Claude Bouchard, I literally followed him for this. Saturday was facefuck day and Sunday was positive post. Maybe tomorrow will be positive open oral sex day and we'll all be satisfied. Because that's literally what he did. He's telling them to F themselves in the face. And then the next day he's like, can we all be let's make positive posts, you guys. It's ridiculous. We'll find out tomorrow. I don't even know what I think he's being relatively quiet. Well, at least before this live started. X was relatively quiet. Oh, and this is some good stuff. I love this information. I was telling you guys that Steve Bannon spent 3 days dragging Elon Musk. Steve Bannon dedicated his entire show for 3 straight days, hammering Musk with one guest after another. You're calling the MAGA movement racist? Racism card? You think we're going to tolerate that? We're not. I don't care how big a check you wrote. You can't stop us. We're relentless and we're never going to quit. We're 1,000 times tougher than you. If you don't get that, keep it up. Whoopsies, I went the wrong way. Then, Musk claims his companies depend on H-1B visas. Let's see the data. Publish every engineer hired on H-1B and prove Americans couldn't fill those roles. Amen. From David Sachs to Vivek Ramaswamy to sorry, I'm just pinning. I'm trying to pin my life goal. It told me to pin it. Sorry. From David Sachs to Vivek Ramaswamy to Elon, not one example of an Einstein who couldn't be replaced by Americans. Americans first. You're going to have to climb over our dead bodies to defeat us. I love when Bannon goes nuts. It's hilarious. This went on for hours and hours, day after day. More Bannon. Elon Musk, you're going to go to war on the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. I hate to make it personal, but you've tried to trash individuals by punching down. Remember the first rule at gladiator school, bro. Don't punch down, either punch up here or punch up. I actually agree with that. I can't stand people who punch down. And that's all Trump does, actually, which is ironic that Bannon, I do feel like Trump's constantly doing that too. Oh, this is some good stuff. So again, former Trump speechwriter and Revolver News reporter Darren Beattie on Bannon's show. This is because I said Bannon just kept bringing on guest after guest to trash Elon Musk. Companies profit from H-1B workers who are effectively indentured servants hoping for green cards while taxpayers foot the bill. This privatized profit, socialized cost model isn't a natural market system. Even economically, H-1B is a scam. H-1B shifts its cost onto taxpayers. Should be on the Doge chopping block, not something for Doge to promote. Yeah, but Doge is a scam because truthfully, it should be. More beady. H-1B isn't about talent. It's about cost cutting. Tech companies hire cheap labor shifting costs like green cards and chain migration onto taxpayers. It's a scam. That privatizes profits and socializes costs. That's a good way to say it. If they paid the true price, they wouldn't want H-1Bs. That's facts. Former Republican Congressman Dave Bratt. And this is another good one, actually. I've worked on workforce boards at every level, and here's the problem. Corporations refuse to invest in American talent, offer them a program to train 20 tailored engineers, and they say no. They want to cherry pick from Ivy Leagues and make taxpayers pay for it. That's exactly right. Tap the screen, guys. I appreciate you tapping the screen. Tapping is clapping. I appreciate it so much. And subscribe if you want to or can. I really appreciate subscriptions. It's nice to have revenue. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell you about this. Toodle, if you're still here, this is what you brought up at X and you want to follow a funny account. Follow Adrian Dittman. This is very much rumored to be Elon Musk. And if you don't know this, there's several accounts that are rumored to be Elon Musk pretending to be another person, but this one is the most blatantly obvious. Yeah. Oh, I know. I believe it is him, but he denies it. So I can't just say it is him. I mean, yeah, we'll get into it. But yeah, so Musk has a lot of alter egos, allegedly. This one would probably be the most obvious. So this weirdo was on Twitter Spaces, right? Which is like a live using a voice changer. But it still sounds exactly like him. Like, it's scary and weird, and it's a terrible voice changer. Like, you have like $450 billion. Spring for a good voice changer. Like, I feel like he has my voice changer on my cheap audio mixer. I don't understand how you don't have a better voice changer. Yeah, so listen to this. So Musk's alleged online alter ego, Adrian Dittman, started hosting X Spaces to discuss the controversy. Because, they're ripping Elon Musk apart on the internet. So Adrian Dittman, who's, in my opinion, very clearly, and most people's opinion on the right and on the left, and his daughter also says it's him. He started going on X Spaces to discuss the controversy. Many people who have followed that account and listened to Dittman are 100% convinced it's Musk, who has used multiple online identities over the years. I am one of those who's convinced it is Musk. The voice on the X Spaces sounds just like him trying to use some kind of voice modifier. And so this is the best part. Laura Loomer is hilarious. She goes in there and just starts calling him Elon over and over and over. Which is hilarious. But so Laura Loomer went into the Twitter Spaces and started just calling him Elon, and he was answering to it. One right-winger who was on Spaces, this is my favorite quote possibly of the day. Listen to this. One right-winger who was on the space said, quote, "It's the most cowardly and bizarre display I've ever witnessed. It was some weird mixture of kabuki theater, Adult Swim, and a Soviet-style shaming ritual." I can't do this. And then this is what I was telling you about. Musk's trans daughter, Vivian Wilson, on Dittman's voice. She said, quote, it has the exact same voice, accent, mannerisms, way of speaking, viewpoints, etc. The first time I heard a clip of him speaking, I got the exact same chills running down my spine from when I was a child hearing his voice. Personally, I entirely believe it's him, and I don't think it's particularly subtle. I just think it's hilarious. What makes Dittman? Oh, maybe this is the best part of it. What makes the Dittman thing even more pathetic is when you go back and read some of his old posts, knowing most likely it really is Musk. Earlier this year, Musk posted a photo of himself with one of his many kids. Adrian Dittman replied to that, quote, "You're an amazing father, Elon. Your kids are very lucky to have you." He's allegedly praising himself for being a good father, so people will think he's a good father. Sheesh. You can't write this stuff. It's hilarious. Oh, and we can move on to the debt ceiling. This is all very fluid. So Trump posted this last night, which was basically throwing Mike Johnson under the bus for the debt ceiling. And then if you don't know, a lot of people on X have been trashing Mike Johnson. Republicans in Congress are trashing Mike Johnson and saying they refuse to vote for him. Like the far right Republicans are refusing to back Mike Johnson for speaker. So this is just a long post of basically, Trump empowering these people to trash Mike Johnson. And then today, he posts the opposite. But actually, before we get to that, I want to show you something really funny. Do you guys remember the shaman, the guy that snuck into on J6 to the Capitol? He's running for Speaker of the House. And the funniest part is everyone's like, hey, this makes perfect sense. This is his platform. Single bill voting law, term limits and age limits for all Congress and staff, mandatory drug testing for all Congress and staff, criminalized lobbying, 7-figure fines, and expulsion for insider trading. Like, I think I'll vote for him at this point. Like, so I think we all probably should back the shaman. He's making more sense. I don't know what's going on anymore on X. I'm like, am I backing the shaman for Speaker of the House? I think I am. And many leftists were like, I guess we're gonna let's all nominate the shaman for Speaker of the House. This is so funny. 2 arguments for the MAGA shaman guy. He has already sat in the speaker's chair. He is less weird and seems more competent than Mike Johnson. I have to laugh at the comments here. Nothing unites Democrats and Republican opinion like a shared hatred of Mike Johnson. It's true. Everybody was like, I guess we just vote for the shaman. That's the way forward in America. Like, this is what it's coming to. And then today, Trump completely does a 180. Yesterday, he trashes Mike Johnson and basically gave MAGA an excuse to not reelect him as speaker. And today, in this really weird long post, he endorses him for re-election as speaker. This is going to be another shit show, and I don't even want to bother to read this. You could look it up on True Social if you want, but this is his long. It's like look how long this crap is. It's just him complaining about the election that he won, FBI weaponization, all sorts of crazy stuff. Then he's like, Mike Johnson is a good, hardworking, religious man. He will do the right thing, and we will continue to win. Mike has my complete and total endorsement. That's after him whining about like we need to send people to jail and the Republicans cheated in the election and the FBI is weaponizing the government, and then he's like, oh yeah, and vote for Mike Johnson. It's ridiculous. And then this was today. I actually just saw this and screenshotted this. Thomas Massey is not going. I respect and support President Trump, but his endorsement of Mike Johnson is going to work out about as well as his endorsement of Speaker Paul Ryan. We've seen Johnson partner with Democrats to send money to Ukraine, authorize spying on Americans, and blow the budget. So I guess Thomas Massey is still a no. And I was talking about this earlier and I just wanted to show you. Thomas Massey has been trashing Mike Johnson for days, but he did post this little nugget. Congress has secretly paid out more than $17 million of your money to quietly settle charges of harassment, sexual, and other forms in congressional offices. Don't you think we should release the names of the representatives? I do. I definitely do. I definitely think if our tax dollars are going to pay millions of dollars for harassment lawsuits, we should know who the people are. Just saying. I definitely think we should know. I don't ever agree with Thomas Massey, but yeah, if you're saying which they are, there's a pool of money used to pay off like workplace harassment lawsuits in Congress. So I do actually agree with that. Choose your fighter. These are the people that I guess might be in the speaker's race. This is so Andy Biggs, Lauren Boebert, Tim Burchett. Like, what is going on, Burleson? These are most of these people are nuts. I just want to be clear. Like Andrew Clyde, Eli Crane he's from Arizona. This guy is actually nuts. Like Andy Harris, Ralph Norman, Andy Ogles. This is like the Freedom Caucus. Scott Perry, Victoria Sparks, Greg Stube. How could these people be up for the speakership? I don't even understand. I don't know where CNN got this list. This cannot be real. Nobody would ever vote for Victoria Sparks. She's not even on a committee. And yeah, I don't know where CNN got this. Maybe they're just like, put this up so that like Mike Johnson will look more palatable. I don't know, because I don't believe any of these people would be able to get any votes. They're not even in leadership. I thought this was the literal weirdest list of people. Oh, and now I told you. So this is today. Laura Loomer was again on Steve Bandon's show. He's Aaron Rupar. He's one of my favorite independent journalists. He was saying the worst person you know just made some great points.
And what we need to have a conversation about is what is it going to mean for the future of our country, our national security, and the incoming Trump administration if we have a bunch of technocrats who are also essentially welfare queens because their companies are receiving government subsidies and they want to take over our defense industry. If you have a bunch of tech bros with billions of dollars and direct unfettered access to the vice president and the president of the United States, and then they are also, very cordial with our adversaries, as in China and Iran. We've seen that Elon Musk is having these meetings off the books with Iranian officials, with Chinese officials. What does that mean for us and the future of our constitutional republic?
Okay, hang on. Yeah, okay, hang over a second. I want.
When Laura Loomer is making sense, I don't know. Should we all just give up? It's like she's exactly right, and nobody's mentioning it. And it's like, actually, keep talking, Laura Loomer, because at least MAGA listens when you speak. I've been saying hey, it's not weird to anyone else that the richest man in the world is meeting with Iran. Nobody sees that as concerning. I definitely do. And then underneath this post, Jasmine Crockett said, but none of this crossed their minds before now. Now the enlightenment ensues as you are feuding with him. That even a broken clock is right twice a day. That should be, Laura Loomer should just have that tattooed on her. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. That's what we have going on here. It was like that one time where Tulsi Gabbard was like filling in for Tucker Carlson and just hammered George Santos about why he had like stolen money and stuff. And I was like, I guess this is the first time Tulsi Gabbard got something right. I feel like we're having that moment again. Oh, and God, this is disturbing. Chris, listen to this is the governor of New Hampshire, Chris Sununu, trying to, I guess he's an apologist. I don't even know how you make sense.
The political aspects of what he wants to do on the Hill. And he has outsiders. And as much as people say, well, Elon is a billionaire outsider. First, I don't mind that they're billionaires. I like people that are successful. What is the difference whether they're a billionaire or broke? I'd rather have someone successful. And I like that it's an outsider and an engineer and not a politician and not looking for anything out of the game.
He's not that much of an outsider. In fact, one of the criticisms and the concerns is that he has billions of dollars tied up in government contracts. You don't see a conflict of interest here?
Everyone has a conflict of interest
but
at some
level.
level.
A pretty big one.
The guy's worth $450 billion as of today and this month. So I don't think he's doing it for the money. He's doing it for the bigger project and the bigger vision of America. He doesn't need the dollars. He really doesn't. So it's not about, if I get involved in this, I'll get another little.
He has made $277 billion since the election. If he's not doing it for the money, why doesn't he divest from his company? Why doesn't he report conflicts of interest and resolve them? He absolutely is doing this for the money.
contract here or there, that's nothing to him. So I like the fact that he's, in a way, he's so rich, he's so removed from the potential financial influence of it.
Imagine being this idiotic. You know what
We have
I
some
mean?
breaking news.
Imagine being that idiotic. How embarrassing for Chris Sununu. If he was not doing it for the money, he would divest from those positions he would profit off of. Like, please, are we I'm in a literal nightmare. And now on to some good news. We do have some good news today.
Right now, Donald Trump just suffered a massive loss in court where E. Jean Carroll's sexual abuse and defamation verdict were both upheld. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the jury's verdict, which awarded Carroll $5 million for sexual abuse that she suffered at the hands of Donald Trump. Now, Trump's attorneys desperately sought to get the verdict thrown out, get a new trial, but all of those requests failed. The Second Circuit found that the court did not abuse its discretion regarding several evidentiary issues that were presented in the district court level. And as a result, the $5 million verdict will remain and Donald Trump will have to pay it. Now, I believe Donald Trump's actually already paid the $5 million into a court registry. So assuming that he does not further appeal to the United States Supreme Court, that $5 million will go over to E. Jean Carroll along with interest. Trump may very well appeal this to the United States Supreme Court, but this is not a case the Supreme Court will likely take up on appeal, which means that this judgment will stand and Donald Trump will forever be liable for sexual abuse. Comment your thoughts, spread the word, and follow along for all.
Here's the point. The money is pittance, but the point is he didn't want to be found liable for sexual abuse, and the appeals court upheld it today. This morning, bad news. Bad news. Great news for us. And I just have two more videos, because I like to end with a little bit of like, what's going on? How are we being robbed? Let's find some intelligent people to explain to us exactly how we're being robbed by rich people and conservatives in this country. And I have two really good examples.
There's one thing that confuses Republican voters maybe more than trans rights, socialism, communism, women's rights, environmentalism, and economic policy, and that's regressive taxation. Regressive taxes are simply taxes that hurt poor people more than they hurt rich people. Sales tax is the best example. If you buy a gallon of milk or a dozen eggs, you pay the exact same amount of actual dollars in tax as somebody who makes 10 times more than you do. Regressive taxes are actually everywhere and people don't realize it. Lottery tickets are a regressive tax. It's not rich people buying lottery tickets. And to try to mask the fact that states are stealing money from poor people with the lottery system, they use the lottery ticket revenue on things that everybody needs, like public schools. Speeding tickets and fines in general are also regressive taxes. There are countries in Europe that for this exact reason charge progressively higher fines based on your income if you're caught speeding. It shouldn't cost more to be poor, and yet it does. And that's by design because wealthy people are the ones writing the laws. Poor people can't save up $25,000 to buy a vehicle that doesn't break down every day, or $50,000 or $60,000 to buy an electric vehicle so they don't have a gas bill anymore. They can't even buy a $50 sweater to make sure it doesn't fall apart after 6 months. And when poor people need money, they don't go to their buddy at the bank and get a 2% loan. They take their $2,000 vehicle to a title loan place, or they go get a payday loan at 450% APR. Despite these plain facts that most Republicans suffer from, they're actually out here arguing with their minimum wage that we need a national flat sales tax so that we can get rid of the income tax. They're out here battling the inheritance tax, even though it doesn't apply unless your estate is in the millions. What Republican voters need to understand is if we had a significantly more progressive tax system than we have today, we could actually get rid of regressive taxes entirely. But instead, billionaires have somehow convinced poor Republicans that they're all just temporarily inconvenienced millionaires, and that when they win the lottery,
temporarily inconvenienced millionaires. That is what MAGA believes. They are delusional. You are being robbed and you have been brainwashed to believe, oh, I'll any day now, I'm pulling myself up by my bootstraps. I'm a genius. It's not because Elon Musk comes from obscene wealth and inherited obscene wealth. It's just because, I'm a temporarily inconvenienced millionaire. I love that.
Or come up with that great invention that's always right at the tip of their tongue. They'll need those incredibly generous tax breaks to save themselves money. And this is why Republican leaders are trying to burn history books. If Republican voters understood the last time we had truly progressive tax tiers that were so popular that FDR got elected 4 times, forcing them to put term limits on the presidency, we would never have a Republican president again.
I love him. And what is his name? It's Oh, That's Rich, right? Who you guys? Someone put in the comments what his name is? I believe it's Oh, That's Rich. If you don't know who this is, Yeah, all of this. And I just want to end because I love we love Robert Reich. Robert Reich, if you don't know, you can follow him on Twitter, you can follow, or on X, you can follow him on TikTok. He is the former labor secretary. He's an economist and he makes videos. It's called Inequality Media. He makes videos about how we're being robbed by billionaires and corporations. And he did a great video I watched this morning on private equity. He is amazing.
Shady investors are rigging the economy to get rich by making your life more expensive. It's called private equity. Private equity firms are privately owned financial organizations. Here's how they make money. They buy struggling companies with borrowed money, often using the company's assets as collateral for the loans. They then make the purchased company profitable by cutting wages, outsourcing jobs, and stripping assets. Then they resell what's left of the company, often laden with debt, and pocket the returns. Private equity managers have their tentacles in so many industries that they touch almost every part of your life without you even knowing. These are just a few. First, housing. Private equity has a hand in today's skyrocketing housing costs. Private equity-backed real estate corporations are buying up both single-family homes and apartment buildings at record rates. In 2021, private equity investors bought nearly 1 in 7 homes in the country's top metro areas, and private equity-backed corporations now own at least 260,000 homes across the country. It's a lucrative business. Blackstone, one of the largest private equity firms in the world, made a cool $7 billion when it sold off its shares of the rental company it created, Invitation Homes, more than double what it initially invested. So what happens when your landlord becomes a private equity firm? Higher rent, faster evictions, punitive fees, shoddier repairs and services, if anyone even shows up at all. Even if your building isn't owned by a private equity firm, their impact on the market is probably driving your rent up. When corporate landlords gobble up already scarce homes, they shut out millions of people from being able to buy their own homes, preventing them from building financial stability and generational wealth. In essence, it's a direct transfer of wealth from the middle and working class into the pockets of private equity managers. Next, healthcare. Over the past 2 decades, private equity in healthcare has exploded from $5 billion.
This is super disturbing. I know all about private equity and housing, but I didn't understand. This is some of the most disturbing stuff I've ever heard.
To over $100 billion a year, from buying hospitals to staffing emergency rooms to taking over nursing homes. Team Health, a staffing agency owned by Blackstone, charges about 6 times what Medicare charges in emergency rooms. Team Health and Envision, another private equity-owned physician staffing firm, are notorious for their surprise medical bills. Don't you just love surprise bills? Team Health and Envision doctors aren't covered by insurance. So when a patient goes to an in-network hospital but is seen by a private equity doctor, the patient gets stuck with a surprise out-of-network bill. Beyond eye-pop.
You go to a hospital that your insurance covers, but then there's a private equity doctor that sees you there, and you get a random bill because that's out of network. Yeah, every developed country in the world has universal health care but us.
Costs. Patients can also expect lower quality care. A sweeping study examined private equity-owned nursing homes and found dire effects. Staff hours were slashed, jobs disappeared, and the use of antipsychotic medications, which have a host of dangerous side effects, skyrocketed. All this contributed to a 10% increase in patient mortality. That's more than 1,000 lives lost every year on average. Now, if private equity is doing so much damage, how come it isn't the front page story on every paper in the country? Well, for starters, hedge funds and private equity firms own half the nation's daily papers. And about a quarter of U.S. newspapers, over 2,000 publications, have shut down over the past decade and a half. The result? Reporters, staff, and readers lose, while private equity managers get even richer. A 2022 study found that after private equity buyouts, the number of reporters and editors declined by nearly 10%. The East Bay Times in Oakland, California, owned by Alden Global Capital, laid off 20 employees just 1 week after the paper won a Pulitzer Prize. Declines in local news coverage are associated with lower voter turnout, less competitive local elections, and more government corruption. Even as jobs and hours are cut, subscription prices are jacked up, sticking readers with a lower quality product for a much higher cost. So what can be done? First and foremost, close the industry's favorite tax loophole that enables private equity managers to keep their taxes low. The carried interest loophole treats their personal income as capital gains, taxed at a top rate of just 20%, instead of the personal income it actually is, with a top tax rate of 37%. It's yet another way private equity is looting America. The pattern is clear. When private equity gets involved, costs get higher and quality gets lower, while the rich get richer. It's past time for Congress to rein in this predatory industry.
This is what I say, what I mean, like conservative policy, right? This type of stuff, these tax loopholes, allowing things like predatory private equity to continue operating without closing these tax loopholes. This is disproportionately unaliving the poor. It's crazy to even think about, right? I mean, I was saying that the unhoused rate is at 18%. I was wrong. It just has had an 18% increase recently. Like we were at the all-time, and that's what he was explaining is how private equity is making it impossible for people to be housed in this country. Yeah, no, the Gen Z, I love when I cannot, or maybe I should say, I love in a dark, sarcastic way. I hate when you hear boomers or people being, conservatives being like, I worked 3 jobs. Look at me now. Like I'm retired. Everything's fine. Gen Z has no chance. Yeah. Whoever wrote that in the comments. Yeah. Gen Z is not making it out. There's no way to overcome how the system is stacked against them. All of these tax loopholes, the constant shift of wealth to the top of the economy. No, Gen Z's never making it out. Like, and then people are just like, God, what's wrong with Gen Z? Like, they're worried about unaliving in a school every day due to mass tragedies because we don't care about them. And then we've taken away any future they may or may not have had. And then we're like, God, they seem kind of upset. Yeah, they're upset. They're miserable. Stephanie said, thank you, Felice. MAGA tears are delish. Exactly. Christina says, thank you, Christina, for the $5. I appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for today. I thought we'd do a people's receipts. I do not know if we're doing the broadcast tomorrow. Dr. Danny is traveling. I'll let you guys know tonight in Discord and on my profile. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. But otherwise, I think for sure, because I don't have a life. Mandy and Danny have a life. I don't. It is New Year's Eve, so I might do debates with Pickles, because I don't really have anything going on. But I'll just let you guys know later today when I figure that out. I might even debate tonight if I'm not too tired. This is Robert. Someone said it's pronounced Reich. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've heard people definitely. I just saw him. He was just on Morning Joe, and they said Reich, but maybe it is Reich. I don't know. It's R-E-I-C-H. Robert Reich. He's the former labor secretary. I wrote it in the chat. Hold on, I might still have it up. Yeah, this is his. Oh my. Oops. Yeah, he has 1.4 million. I swear, he had like 500,000 followers a month ago. This is really working for him. He's a Berkeley professor, former secretary of labor, co-founder of Inequality Media. It's R.B. Reich, or Reich, R-E-I-C-H on Twitter. And someone I think said it was the same on TikTok. But yeah, he's putting out these videos constantly, like at least a couple a day, and they're awesome. I know, and I love his voice. I love the illustrations, how there's cartoons. It's like as a teacher, I love a visual aid because I'm a visual learner. So yeah, we play his videos most at the end of every People's Receipts. And again, all of these outlines, all the screenshots, everything are in the Discord. If you would like a link to join the Discord, Feliz Navidad is just a regular TikTok account like this one I'm on. Just message that TikTok account and ask for a link to the Discord, and we'll get you on. And I put every single link. I go through every clip. Normally we have more clips. Today was more about a meltdown on X, but normally we have more good clips like this one, and I provide all the links to those. I know. I love a great voice that lulls you into a false sense of security. He's even starting to, like I said, he's starting to show up, like do media appearances and everything. He's awesome. We need more. He should run for something. We need him in office. He's amazing. And like, this is not even some of his best work. Like yes, like David Attenborough. I do agree. Yeah, he could be doing nature videos. I completely agree. Thank you guys for attending this episode of The People's Receipts. Like I said, I might debate tonight. Definitely probably will tomorrow. And I don't know if we'll ring in the exact New Year, maybe. I have nothing going on other than rest. So, and then The People's Receipts will be back on Thursday after New Year's Day. So the next People's Receipts will be Thursday, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. Love you guys so much. Thank you for keeping me sane, and I will see you guys soon. Later, Gators.